From the greatest sports town in modern history, New York City. Welcome to the most exhilarating sports talk on YouTube today. The Entertainah, talking sports. So mute your device, dial your phone, and prepare yourself for the pinnacle of sports talk on YouTube. The Entertainah, talking sports. Monday nights, only on YouTube.
Stand up, sports fans. We are back on Monday night. What is going on? The GOAT stuck in the 80s. MH Cushman. Who else we got in here? Mawani in the house. Procaccini. Rogue Dog in the house. Scott Thomas stuck in the 80s. The GOAT. Jeremy Nussbaum. Thank you to everybody that is here. One giant rebuttal. Of course, I saw earlier. Cushman's in the house. Alex Sports. Do me a favor. Stand up. Johnny Boy. The hair is gone. Jose Reyes in the house. So, what's going on, OGR? What's going on, MH? What's going on, Bavith? Let's see if the odds are against me tonight. Yes, I will try my best to get everybody. Luke in the house. D. Smith in the house. I appreciate that. Jonathan in the house. Got a double shot. All right, so thank you to everybody for tuning into the stream. So, we got a couple of interesting stories coming up. Baseball is right around the corner. We got opening day in 3 or 4 days. The NFL draft is a month away. Of course, the Giants owner today came out and basically said that the Giants plan on taking a quarterback. What's going on, Moana? I think I shouted you out earlier, but what's going on? So there's a couple of interesting stories. NBA's kind of We're kind of just waiting for the playoffs at this point. As Knicks fans, we're waiting for the ping pong bowls. March Madness has gotten underway. We're up to the Sweet 16. Very blah this year. Not a lot of upsets. Pretty much just all 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s in the Sweet 16. There's 1-12. That's Oregon, who's kind of like a big school. And there's no Cinderellas. So I was kind of disappointed with March Madness, but I enjoyed it anyway. But yeah, other than that, we're just waiting on the NFL draft. We're waiting for some rumors to come out. I'm going to have my next mock draft up tomorrow. I'm more than halfway done with the next one, so I'm really looking forward to that. I was voted on by my subscribers to do a simulation in which the Giants draft Haskins at 6 and what I would do with the following picks after that. So that's going to be my next one. I'm going to do like 10 of these because I think there's a lot of content I can get from it. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys tonight. The GOAT, Marcus Caramarino. He didn't say it verbatim, Marcus, but he kind of insinuated it. But it could just be it could just be talk to try to get a team to trade up above the Giants because the Giants are faking. We don't know. Nobody's telling the truth. You don't know. Crazy Mofo in the house. I appreciate that. And let's open up the lines. What's going on? Yeah, Mofo, what's going good, man? How's everything going with you? So the phone number is 914-481-3540. We'll take one call at a time. Let me just get this off the screen. All right, quick trigger finger. First caller, what's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. What's going on, Nathan Spratt? Thank you for tuning in, buddy. What's up? Who's this?
Hey, it's OGR. What's up?
OGR in the building. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Not too bad. Quick trigger finger. I'm happy that you took my call. It's been a couple of weeks before I got in. But I got a quick question about this Alonso kid from the Mets.
Okay.
I picked him up in my fantasy league as soon as I heard that he was coming up because he sounds like a solid prospect. But now that I'm hearing, is he going to be platooning or is he going to be a starter?
Well, I would think if he's with the big league club. Now, Dominic Smith had a really good spring as well. Not as good as Alonso. He batted .333, I think 9 RBIs from the first base position. And so they could platoon potentially to start the year. I think Alonso at some point is going to overtake the position, and I think it'll probably be early. And everything I read, it seems as if Alonso was going to make the big league club right out of the break. A lot of people thought the Mets weren't going to do that because of the implications that they'd be able to keep him for another year underneath the what's essentially a rookie contract in baseball. But it looks like he's going to be the starter from day one. Now, he may not be an everyday starter, but I would think probably within a month to month and a half, he's going to overtake that position full time.
All right, that's good to know. Also, so I don't know about you, but I'm really getting tired of Steve Tisch and John Mara. I'm not saying tired as owners. It's just they feel the need to come out and speak. You know, when I think back to the Giants, I think blue collar, honesty. You know, guys that sat behind the desk and were leaders by example. And it now seems like they're trying to fall in with the times and trying to get the headlines. I'm not liking the leadership I'm getting from the top right now. I don't know about you as a Giants fan, how you feel about it. I was curious, so that's why I also called in.
So you'd rather them just be close to the vest and not look to report what the...
Well, I mean, similar to like Wellington was. I mean, you're not going to be your father's son, essentially. You know, you're not going to be exactly like your father. But I mean, it just seems like John's just opening up his mouth too much now, and it's just getting us more and more trouble. And I kind of want to be a little bit closer to the vest, like the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's what we were before. So
the only logical reason I mean, now he didn't say 100% they were taking a quarterback, but he definitely made it sound that way. The only reason for them to do that, in my opinion, would be to try to get teams interested to trade with him. I mean, unless he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, because he might be trying to, I guess up the make people think they're interested in taking a quarterback, so somebody jumps them and then a defensive player falls to them that they really want.
I get the logic behind it because, but at that point, even then, you're still not going to get the defensive player. So let's just say Kyler and Dwayne Haskins are somewhere taken in the top 5. That leaves Josh Allen, Quinnen Williams, and Nick Bosa. They're still going to go before you.
Well, I'm going to give you a scenario where it might not happen, where one of them 3 might drop. Let's say Kyler goes 1. Let's say Bosa goes 2. Let's say Josh Allen goes 3. I think that's what most people think at this point because the Jets need an edge rusher. Let's say the Raiders trade down. Okay, let's say they trade down and somebody comes up, I don't know, pick a team. The Bengals.
The Dolphins.
Bengals. Come up, they get a quarterback. At number 5, a lot of people think that the Bucs are sold on taking Devin White no matter what. And in that scenario, I think it's possible Quinnen Williams could fall to 6.
I mean, I get why the Bucs would take it because they have Gerald McCoy, but over Quinnen Williams. But I mean, at that point, I think it'd be a little foolish. But hey, teams have made worse choices in their lives.
Yeah, I'm not saying I expect it, but I think there's a small possibility it could happen.
All right, Entertainah. Well, I'll let you get to your other calls. I appreciate you taking mine, and I will talk to you later.
You got it, man. Keep up the great work on your channel. And if anybody has not gone over to One Giant Rebuttal, please do so. He's working his butt up over there. Go check out his channel. Thank you for the call, my man.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. All right, let's take the next call. I just want to say hello to Pigskin Pete's in the house. Pro Kachina. If I didn't say hello to you, thank you for tuning in. Clocks, thank you for tuning in. What about Garrett Bradbury in the 3rd round? He's not going to be there in the 3rd round, in my opinion. He had a great combine. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Bob, how could I ever forget Bobby's voice? What's going on? Bobby's usually my first caller. This time he wasn't quick enough. He's the second caller. What's going on, Bobby?
Yeah, he beat me to the punch, that guy. Yeah. I got a suggestion for your talk. You should name your chat room a name. You should give your chat people a name.
Okay. I just want to say hello to Enzo, by the way. And what's your recommendation for my chat room?
No, I think everybody should give like a, vote on it. Like, say something,
Okay. Everybody should vote on it, but is there any suggestion?
Let's see. You're a Met pit. What about the Shasters?
Okay, the Shasters. So we're gonna name the chat after an old Met stadium. All right, maybe we'll put up a poll for it. But Bobby,
yeah, let's do a poll. Yeah,
we'll do a poll. What's up, Bobby? How you doing?
Good. You did a great job this weekend. You kicked the butt.
Oh, I was exhausted calling all those NCAA games. I was exhausted.
I know, but you did great on it. You're like a perfect announcer, and with your Italian stallion partner too, Mr. Bad Dog. You did good.
Oh,
you guys did good.
You are.
And my cat still loves you. She watches you every time she watches the stream. She looks at the thing all the time.
Well, tell her I said hello. Tell her I said hello. Tell her I said hello, Bobby.
Her name is Seahawk.
Seahawk?
Yeah, like Seattle Seahawks.
Are you a Seahawks
my
fan?
Brother named her, Seahawks. Yeah. Well, my brother named them after the Seahawks.
Okay, fair enough. So what's up, Bob?
Yeah, she looks like a Seahawks. She's gray and white. She's gray and white. So I can't wait till Thursday, huh?
Thursday, yeah. Wait. Why Thursday? What's Thursday?
Opening day.
Oh, yeah. I just heard a honk there. I got thrown off. But yeah.
Hey, you got somebody honked, so you get a...
Yeah. But, of course, Thursday's opening day. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to have to DVR the game because I'll be working. It's a day game.
Oh, you got to work?
Yeah, I'm going to live stream the Sunday game, which is going to be the third game of the year for the Mets. I'll be doing a play-by-play on that. I think it's at 1:30.
Oh, really? Who are you doing it with?
Myself. It's Mets Nationals. I'll be doing that by myself.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. It's at Nationals. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So you definitely go to the other game, right?
Yeah, I'm going to the second home game of the year for the Mets.
Oh, I thought that was the third game. Oh, okay. Maybe that's a Sunday, right?
I'm going to the whatever game of the year it is. I'm going to the Sunday game at Citi Field. The next Sunday.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Me and my brother go and try to get to that game to see it.
Very good stuff, Bobby. Very good stuff.
And you get to kiss Asia, right?
Oh God, here we go. Here we go with the Asia talk. But anything?
Well, she likes you too. Well, the other girl likes you too. Don't forget who else? Kendra. Don't forget Kendra.
Right. Bobby, anything you want to talk
so
about?
So when is that other thing? Saturday's coming up too with you guys, the funny guys, right? All 60 guys.
That'll be on obviously on the Sports Fears channel. That won't be on mine. Yes.
And what time does that start?
It's gonna be midday. It's probably gonna start around 4:00, and it's gonna be about 7 hours of just nonsense of me, Bad Dog.
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
Philly
oh my
500.
God, oh my God, Philly 500.
And UCF Jaguar with the Sports Fury.
And Josh too. Josh and the other guy.
Josh's
first name?
Josh and Sean.
Sean. Yeah, they're awesome too.
Oh, they're great.
But I'll let you go. Maybe later on I'll call you if it gets slow.
All right, Bobby. Thank you so much for the call, my man. Thank you very much for the call.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.
Bye now.
And that was legendary caller Bobby Woodruff. What's going on? It's Cole. Thank you for tuning in the stream. Just missed the call there. What's going on? You're on live. What's going on? Steve Pazienza. What's going on? CE Sports Show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. What's going on? Who's this?
Entertainah. What's good, my brother?
What's good? Who is this? Is this Mike Nixon?
It is.
Mike
Mr.
Nixon.
Mr. Recliner himself.
Mr. Recliner himself. What's going on, my man?
Not much, brother. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Just enjoying my Monday off. I'm off Sundays and Mondays.
Good, man. You deserve it, bro. You deserve it. All the hard work you do outside of that, plus all the stuff you do on YouTube, man, you deserve a nice day of break.
I appreciate it, man. I can't do anything about the ring. I see this stuff in the 80s doesn't like the ring. I can't do anything about the ring. But yeah, no, just enjoying my day off and talking some sports with you guys.
That's what's up, man. So I did enjoy your latest mock video with the scenario, and I actually like that scenario a lot.
Yes.
Because even we trade with the Bengals and they go to 6, there's no guarantee. I know you had them taking Haskins. There's no guarantee that they would do that. They could go Devin White at 6 if they were to trade down with us, because they did let go of Vontaze Perfect, who I believe was their middle backer, right?
Yes. Now I think if the Bengals are trading up, they're trading up to get a quarterback in that scenario. But now I'm gonna have like 15 mocks. That's not the only one I'm doing. I'm literally gonna do every possible scenario. Like the next one's gonna be Haskins, because you guys voted on the Giants taking Haskins at 6. So Haskins is gonna go 6, and then I'm gonna show how I think that will affect the second round pick, and it will be a different player than DeAndre Baker. It will not be Baker if we go Haskins at 6. So I'm gonna show why different actions are gonna create changes in the draft.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, that was my favorite one by far, especially because it gives us another pick in the second round. I'm all for that. Like I really want the Giants to actually do that, because it gains us another pick, and it will gain us another second round pick next year.
Yeah, well, if you go by history, that's what it would get, because it was almost identical last year when the Bills,
what the Bills did.
Yeah, they got 2 second-round picks, so that's what I based it off of. So, yeah, if somebody was interested, that's a price around what the Giants would get.
Yeah.
But who knows if the Giants would trade down? They might want to stay there and take Haskins, or stay there and take Devin White, or whoever. But it's just an example of what could happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But yeah, man, I just can't wait for the draft itself. 1 month away. It needs to hurry up. To be honest,
I can't wait. Because this is probably the most important draft the Giants have had in a very long time, because it could determine the fate of this franchise for the next 10, 15 years if they take a quarterback that early. So it's a very important draft. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very nervous as to who they're going to pick and what they're going to do, and hopefully it works out. No matter what they do, I'm going to get behind them, but you just hope it works out.
Right.
And it's just such a big draft this year. It really is.
It really is, and then even it's just big. It's a big year for New York itself, because then couple months, we'll have or even like maybe close to a little bit over a month and a half. We got the draft lottery, so we'll find out where the Knicks are picking.
Well, yeah, I mean the NBA draft's going to be huge. Yeah, you're right. This is going to be New York sports is going to be popping the next 3 or 4 months. I can't wait to see the growth of my channel with the NBA draft. I know Knicks are going to be really hot, so that's going to be a lot of fun to cover.
Yeah.
And the Mets. Hopefully the Mets have a good year and get to talk baseball on the channel, and we'll see where it goes from there.
I just hope, like you said, we always start out so good and then we just fall apart. Hopefully, pray to God that everybody just stays healthy, because if the Mets are healthy, they are a pretty dangerous team. Especially with we have honestly, I think we have one of the best pitching rotation in baseball with DeGrom, Syndergaard. You got Wheeler. We still got Steven Matz too, don't we?
Yes, he's the 4th starter, and Vargas is the 5. Vargas is the 5 right now. He probably won't be a month into the season, 6 weeks into the season.
And they still got Wheeler.
Yeah, Wheeler's the 3.
Okay. So, yeah, I think we have, one of the best pitching staffs and pitching rotations in baseball. As long as everybody just stays healthy,
well,
we could be dangerous.
If the Mets could make the playoffs, and that's a huge if, but they're dangerous because of that rotation. I mean, having to face DeGrom twice in a series, having to face potentially Syndergaard twice in a series, and Wheeler's no one to sneeze at either. So, and the bullpen. I mean, Diaz is a lockdown closer, so if they could get in, they're not a team you want to play in the playoffs. They have the makeups of a team, if they could get in, that could go on a deep run in the playoffs.
Now, one other question: Did David Ray retire last year, or is he still?
No.
Okay.
He's actually working in the front office now for the Mets.
That's good. I mean, I feel so bad for him, because he was one of my favorite Mets. He was such a great player. Just upset his career had to fall short and could never get back to being healthy. He was like one of my favorite Mets.
Oh, I mean, he's one of everybody's favorite Mets. He was the captain, and I see Jeremy says that DeGrom will take a step back. Well, yeah, it would be impossible for him not to. The year he had arguably one of the greatest 5 years in the history of baseball.
And even if it's just a minor step down, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be at least top 1 to top 3 voting again for Cy Young.
I mean, DeGrom's always been consistent. The guy's always been a top 10 pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that from him, unless, obviously stuff happens. But if he's healthy, he's the guy. He's going to be a top 5, 10 pitcher in baseball. He always has been.
Of course. But I'll let you get to your other callers. It's always good talking to you. Everybody, if you haven't, sub this man up, support this channel. This dude works hard every single day to put out great content, and I enjoy everything that you do, brother.
I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you so much for the call, buddy.
No problem, brother. Talk to you later.
All right, my man. Have a good one. Let's take the next call. You're on live. Thank you for calling in. Who's this?
Nations.
Nations. What's up, Nations? How you doing, buddy?
Good. So I've been saying this for a while, but I never got your take on it, and I just want to know what you think about it. So basically, I've been saying how the Giants should trade like a 3rd or 2nd round pick for Josh Rosen, so they still have both of their 1st round picks. That way they'll still get their franchise quarterback, who Josh Rosen is actually good, and I don't think it's worth, like I've been saying for a long time, I don't think it's worth taking like the quarterbacks in this class are good. They're going to be successful in the NFL, but why take a quarterback with a 6th pick or 17th pick when you could get a franchise one who's really good, or that's decent, that's going to be able to develop behind Eli Manning for a 2nd or 3rd, and still be able to take more first-round talent when it comes to like defensive line? Because why not? I mean, you could even take like somebody like Montez Sweat at 17 or 6 if he falls down that far. If you want to take a risk, sort of at 6, if he's there, you could take him. But I think you should do that because on top of Josh Rosen being good, it wasn't his fault that his stats were really bad, and that's why I say all the time that you can't really use that to reflect on a season, because when you focus on all of the balls that he threw that were good, his receivers didn't always come down with it, even if he puts it in the right spot, even if he makes the right throw. And on top of that, he does have 1 year of experience, which is more experience than any of the rookies in the NFL or in the draft class, because he played in the NFL for a year, so he knows what it's like. And then, so you get that year of experience. He's a good leader, which is what Gettleman has been wanting to build this entire time. You've seen him cleaning out the locker room and bringing in players that are good leaders, and I think he fits what the Giants want. And he will be your franchise guy. And behind Eli Manning for a year, he'll still have that experience. He'll be able to develop, and he's already a good player. It just doesn't show because of his current team.
All right, that's a lot to respond to. And first, I want to say hello to Cool Drummer, Primetime Cheater. Thank you for tuning in. So here's my take on Josh Rosen. I didn't love as a talent. I think he's very capable as an NFL starter. I think he could easily be an above-average starter in the NFL. And I think like you just alluded to, I think you cannot look at the numbers because he was put in a bad. I thought it was a good situation when he got drafted, but that offensive line was horrible. The offensive coordinator sucked. They replaced him halfway through the season. They had and Fitzgerald is a shell of himself. He's old. David Johnson did not bounce back properly. They had the worst rated offensive line in the sport last year per PFF. My worries with Josh Rosen last year in the draft was his personality. I didn't know if he would have gelled well in New York. Now, if you could get him for the price you just described, I'd do it in a second. If you get him for a second-round pick and that's it, I do it. If you get him for a second-round pick and a third-round pick, I do it. Now, if I got to give up the 17th pick, now I start to think a little bit. But, yeah, if you could get him for a second-round pick, it's a no-brainer because of how it opens up everything else. And I like Haskins. I would love if Haskins was a Giant, but I'm not going to be married to a player. If by getting Josh Rosen with the 37th pick, that opens up the door to have the freedom, and you're going to see in my next mock by taking Haskins what it does to the other picks. You can't take DeAndre Baker at 17 if you take Haskins at 6. You can't do it because the pass rush. You need to address the pass rusher. So, that is why, that is a better scenario. The question is, can you get him for that? Because there's probably going to be a few teams that are knocking down their door to try to get him. In a perfect world, if you could get him for that price, you do it. In my opinion.
They could also add on to it, like maybe they could add on to like a lower valued pick if they had to. I think he's a great player that just hasn't got to show yet. Like his talent and skills just weren't showed or didn't show up yet just because of the team that he was currently on. But yeah, I know a lot of other people are trying to call in. I just wanted to make it quick and short. I wanted to know what you thought about the Josh Rosen situation.
Yeah, I'm not in love with him. I think he could be a good quarterback. And I for the right price I'll do it, but I'm not going to overpay for him. That's my take on it.
Definitely.
But good call, buddy, and I'll talk to you soon.
Much appreciated. Bye.
All right, my man. Let's take the next caller. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in. What's going on, Bottom? Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Chris. This is Anthony Manzano.
Anthony Manzano, what's going on, my man? Thank you for calling in.
Hey, I have a question. I saw your mock. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of what you did with the Dolphins because I don't. The guy.
Well, that mock was meant more for a simulation for the Giants. I was just trying to set up situations for the Giants that would make me think. But what did I do? I don't even remember what I did for you Dolphins. I took Drew Lock, right?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Drew Lock. Like I said, I rather did draft our O-line, build up our O-line, then wait till next year. Because honestly, besides Dwayne Haskins and Kyler Murray, I find some of these quarterbacks that are after them are more backup quarterbacks. Like they're starters, but they're not going to be like stars in the NFL because they have so many problems. The comparison that scares me a little bit is Daniel Jones to Tannehill. To be honest, that's why I rather not anyone. The Dolphins draft Daniel Jones because of the comparison to Tannehill. Do you agree with that comparison? Because that's who was it? Daniel Jeremiah was comparing him to. Do you agree with that comparison, or he's more of a Phillip Rivers type of quarterback?
Well, I'll say this: he's definitely more polished than Tannehill was coming into the pros because he's played in a pro style offense. Tannehill was a wide receiver, right, at the beginning of his college career.
Yeah, he wasn't good enough to play quarterback when he went into college.
Daniel Jones is a little more polished. He plays in a pro-style offense. I don't love Daniel Jones. I don't think he had a great combine. I think he could be a solid quarterback at the NFL level, but I'm not in love with him. But I don't think I would compare him to Tannehill. I don't think he'll be Rivers either. I see some of the comparisons. I think Daniel Jones has underrated athleticism. He has some mobility similar to what Tannehill has, but I don't know.
He's not as accurate as. Is he not as accurate as Phillip Rivers?
Well, here's the thing. Everybody points at the completion percentage with Daniel Jones, and I guess it's fair. I think he threw about 60. I think this year he threw about 62%. I think for his career he's about 59 or yeah. But I mean, you have to factor in he plays for Duke, so that's one of the weaker teams in that conference, and he plays in a much more complex offense than these other quarterbacks. Like he's forced to look at his second and third reads more often than like Haskins, for example, who I like. But Haskins is a first-read offense. He gets the ball, he throws it right away. So it's much easier to complete your passes at a higher rate.
And do you find that the offense that Trevor Lawrence plays in is a one-read offense, or is he a multiple-read offense like
I'll tell you,
David Cutcliffe's offense?
All I can tell you is when I watch Trevor Lawrence play, I've seen 3 of his games. And the national championship game, the throws that guy made, he tore that team up, and that team was playing good defense. He was fitting balls into very tight windows. That guy can play. That guy is going to be an upper echelon quarterback at the NFL level. Trevor Lawrence is legit.
Do you think they're ever going to allow? You know how they're going to allow high school kids in the NBA, but not like high school kids specifically into the NFL draft. But do you think eventually they're going to allow like freshmen and sophomores to go into the NFL draft the year before their draft eligibility? Like, do you think the NFL would ever change the draft rule to allow freshmen and sophomores who are already developed enough to where they don't need any more development?
No. I mean, maybe it's possible, but I wouldn't do it. Because I don't think
even with Trevor Lawrence, do you think he's the exception to the rule?
There's always going to be an exception, but if you open up the door for one guy, you got to open it up for everybody.
And also, you don't think it's ever going to happen in our lifetime when it comes to that?
I suppose it could. I wouldn't do it because I a lot of times your body's not ready to take a pounding like that in the NFL. It's different than basketball, where you know what I'm saying. Like I agree with having them wait 2 years.
Yeah, and what I want, like I said, I want to build up the O-line. I'd rather draft most of that offensive line from Wisconsin because you know you can rely on these guys to stay healthy and stuff like that. Because it seems like besides Wisconsin, it seems like when you're drafting offensive linemen from other schools, it seems like they don't stay as healthy as the guys from like Wisconsin. Is there a reason for that? Is it because how big these guys are and stuff like that, or?
That's a good question. I'm going to be honest, I don't have the answer for that. It's a good question, though. It's a good question.
And do you have any favorite O-linemen that you see that they're going to be like an all-pro lineman?
In this year's draft?
Yeah, like, besides, of course, like I said, these Wisconsin guys, you definitely know they're going to be all-pros because they have a track record of developing guys like that, like Joe Thomas and stuff like that.
I mean, I like I mean, I like the guys at the top of the draft. I like Jawan Taylor. He's a huge guy that's very athletic for his size.
I think he's more of a run blocking tackle, to be honest. Jawan Taylor, when I look at his tape, to be honest, I'm not sure if you agree with this. He looks more of a run blocking tackle. He's not. His pass blocking is not that good.
He's huge, but I mean, if you're going for more of an athletic type, you're going for Cody Ford. You're going for Andre Dillard. But I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot of good. Jonah Williams is also. There's a lot of good offensive linemen at the top of this draft. There's a lot.
Do you like any late round guys that you would say that would become all pros in the future, like in the second, third round, like I said, like the Wisconsin guys or guys from like Clemson? Do you like the guy from Clemson, Mitch Hyatt?
He's okay. I like Lindstrom from Boston College as a second round prospect. I like.
Do you like Benshaw and Dieter?
Yes. I like Benshaw. Yes, I actually had him originally mocked in the first round of my first mock draft. But
and do you like Edwards, David Edwards?
Not as high on him. Not as high on him. But I'm gonna let you go because I got people calling in.
Okay, have a good day.
All right, man. Thank you for the call. What's going on, Denial? How you doing, buddy? Taking the next call. You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, it's Kyle from Long Island.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I've been hearing a lot of smack talk about my man Daniel Jones, who I think is the best quarterback in this class.
Okay. I want you to tell me why. I don't think he's gonna be. He could be a decent quarterback. I'm just not in love with him. But what's up? Let me hear why.
I'm just first off. Did you watch his game against Clemson the past 2 years or no? Before I start.
No, I mean I've seen clips. I've seen game film. I have not. No, I don't watch a lot of Duke games live.
Right. If you just get the time anytime before the draft, I highly recommend just watching it because that's what sold me on Daniel Jones so much because he has such a demeanor of Eli in a way, which I love. How he would stay in the pocket and take a hit. He knows how to move from the pocket and keep his eyes forward. He's not I like quarterbacks can do more with less. That's why I'm kind of scared away from Kyler Murray. I feel like he has top players all around him. I feel like Drew Lock has top players around him where he plays in the ACC. These guys have talent around him. He really doesn't have that much talent. And to see him compete, actively compete with a team like Clemson, where majority of that defense is probably going to go in the first couple rounds, it shows me that he can play against an NFL caliber defense.
The one thing I'll say about Jones, the one thing that I will honestly say about Jones, of all the quarterbacks in this draft, I think he is the most ready to play day one. I'll admittedly say that, but his ceiling, in my opinion, is nowhere near Haskins, and it's nowhere near Murray, and Locke for that matter. I like Jones. I don't love him.
I'm more likely. I don't want to touch Locke because I'm very scared about the way he doesn't. He never sets his feet correctly, ever. I watched a bunch of game footage. I think he's the one quarterback I'm very scared from. I think he is the best arm out among everybody in the draft this year.
That means nothing, though. That means nothing. I don't care about the best arm. As long as you have the arm, Haskins' arm is plenty. As long as you have the arm to make the throws, I don't need this super arm. To me, accuracy is much more important. Decision-making, the ability to read a defense, that to me is much more important than having this super arm.
Right, I was I'm so dead set. Let's give away a second or a third to get Rosen. I think Rosen's the best option for us. Just like you said, we can get so much more to fill that defense that so needs that help.
Yeah, if you could get Rosen for pennies on the dollar, you do it. But I don't necessarily think that is going to happen. First off, we don't even know what the Cardinals are going to do. They could be full of it and just trying to up their position as the number one pick to try to get people to trade up. We don't know. But if they go ahead and take Kyler Murray and the Giants could get him for a really, really cheap price, the Giants would be silly not to do that because worst case scenario, Rosen doesn't work out and you take a quarterback in 2 years. And it gives you the ability to fill in your defense. Now, the thing I will say, if you get Rosen, what point is it to have Eli Manning on this roster? I mean, because Rosen's already started now a season, right? So you're now going to bench this guy when he should be developing? So I don't know if that dynamic makes sense. So
yeah, it scares me with a lot of the quarterbacks with Eli.
With Haskins, it makes sense because as much as I like Haskins, I think it would do him good just sit on the bench for at least half a season because he's only played.
Now, I have a question with that.
Yeah.
Just one quick question.
Yeah.
Because we live in the media market of New York, it's not like we play in like a smaller town team. If Eli starts to struggle like he did in the first part of the year last year, which is very much possible because it can happen, do you think the Giants would stick to their conventions and not start any quarterback too soon?
Well, like I said, if it's Rosen, people are going to be calling for Rosen to start before the season starts. They just don't. And if it's Haskins, people are going to do the same thing, but they're wrong. Haskins should not start day one. He hasn't played in a pro-style offense. He only played 13 college games. He could learn, like Mahomes did his first year. And I'm not saying he should sit the whole first year. If the Giants aren't doing well, you bring him in halfway through the year. But Haskins should not start day one. Rosen, people are going to say, should start day one if we get him. They're going to.
I'm excited for like whatever happens the next month. I just looking forward to what we're going to end up doing. I wouldn't be mad if we go all defense. I wouldn't be mad if we got a new quarterback. I'm really excited, and I hope you get a lot of great content. And I just wanted to thank you. I was in the hospital all last week, really sick, and you gave me something to watch every day, and I really appreciate it, man, with all your content.
Man, that means the world to me, man. Thank you for telling me that, and I hope you feel better.
Thank you, man. Have a great night.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thank you for the call. All right. Next call. Thank you for calling in. Hello? All right. I think this is Cushman. What's up, Cushman? How you doing, buddy? What's up, Kendra? How you doing, Kendra?
Hey, Entertainah.
Oh, God. He's already starting. What's up, Cushman? How you doing?
This is a Cushman. This is, Rum Boys has a sexy voice.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
What?
What's up?
Nothing. I'm really excited for baseball season.
Yeah, well, I think I am too. It starts in what now? 3 days. So let's get it going. So what do you want to talk about?
Yeah. Nothing. So I was just one question I wanted to ask you. This is a hypothetical trade scenario, and maybe this never happens. So you said that you'd be hesitant to trade the 17th pick for Rosen. Is that right?
If push came to shove, I'd at least consider it. But yeah, I would prefer not to have hesitant. I would not want to do it. No.
Would you trade? And this is a hypothetical scenario again. Would you trade the 17th pick for Rosen and then, let's say, this is, I don't know exactly the Cardinals' picks, but, Rosen in a late second?
I would probably do it. But I think you're going to be able to get him for less than that. I don't think you're going to have to give up the 17th pick to get him.
So you think, if we could get Rosen for a second-round pick, and Gettleman decline, that would be the one thing that would piss me off as a Giant fan, honestly.
I don't think he would decline. But I think it's going to be, it could be multiple seconds. It might be a second and a future second.
Would you do a second and a third?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
Yeah.
But I personally, at points, and I don't know if you can recall, I've been hesitant on the Dave Gettleman hype train, I guess you can say. But now I just woke up one morning and I said, you know what, I'm full in on anything Dave Gettleman does. If he drafts a 5th round rated prospect, 6th overall, I will not be upset because I am full on the hype train.
Well, that I'd be upset about. I don't know why you wouldn't be upset about that. I mean, if he drafts somebody...
No, I'm over exaggerating, but I'm full on trusting him at this point because I have to. I realize that I have to. If we don't trust him, then nothing good's going to come after. I might as well just relax and trust him.
I mean, I think at this point you have to let the plan develop. It may not work. He inherited a mess. He came in here. He inherited a horrible cap situation. He inherited a bad locker room, and he inherited a team that was coming off 3 wins. So you don't fix that in 1 year.
Yeah.
So,
an example.
So people need to be patient.
Can I just have an example? An example of people that weren't patient, and this isn't even football. But in basketball, the Sixers, when they were tanking, they were all impatient. So then they fired Sam Hinkie, but then the new general manager came in, and then he messed up a lot of things. Even though they ended up still being good, he messed up a lot of things. Like, he traded up to get Fultz.
Yeah, I mean,
he wanted to rush, because after that, he just wanted to rush it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Gettleman's doing the right thing yet, but I'm gonna let him carry out his plan before
I'm just full on trusting him.
You have to trust him and hope he does the right thing, and I like his mentality. Now, is he going to be able to carry it out? We'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to be one of these people who blindly agree with everything he does. The Golden Tate signing, I don't think was a good signing. I like Tate. I think he's going to help the locker room, but I think they gave him too many years, but they could cut him, and the money was a little too much. But I'm not going to just blindly agree with everything he
Golden
does.
Tate doesn't make too much money, and we're going to have a lot of more cap room. And when we traded Odell, we got good assets for him, and you don't win a Super Bowl with paying a receiver. And I know this is your catchphrase. You don't pay a receiver $20 million expecting to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, you know that I always say that. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But anything else,
and buddy? We got good assets. We got the 17th pick and Jabril Peppers, who could help in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jabril Peppers. I think he was a good pickup. He's what the Giants have needed for a while. He's a good coverage safety. He's a center fielder. But, of course, now they lost the box safety, the big playmaker. So, we'll see what they do in the draft. But, yeah, I mean, I think good could come from the trade. I'll say that. I'm not going to be one of these doom and gloom guys that says it's all over, the Giants are going to suck forever. I think he has a plan, and we got to see if he carries it out properly.
Yeah. Also, just one baseball question. Would you be so obviously I'm not a Met fan, even though I'm pretty knowledgeable about pretty much all teams, as you may know. Baseball is like my first love, I guess you can say. But would you be upset if let's say if Dominic Smith starts the season starts more games than Peter Alonso?
Would I be upset?
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a stupid question. I just wanted to bring up baseball, but I don't have too many great questions.
Would I be upset? No. I think at this point, Peter Alonso's earned the job. I mean, but if they start Smith and they started out as a platoon, I'm not going to be screaming at the top of my lungs. He still is a rookie.
Yeah.
I
was kind of surprised that the plans to start Peter Alonso in the majors, because I thought that the reason because I think I'm surprised that they didn't. Obviously, as a new general manager and stuff, but I thought they would have called him up last season because it would still have been the same service time. Because if you don't call him up till April 16th, then you get an extra year service time, as you know, obviously. But if they called him up last year, it's the same as calling him up on opening day. So I didn't really see a reason not to call him up last year. But I guess they just wanted time to decide, I guess.
Which is why I really thought. I mean, he absolutely blew it away in spring training, but it's why I thought they would have waited this year to call him up because of that, the extra year service time. But doesn't sound like...
And a lot of teams do that with prospects. Last year, the Yankees did it with Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, most teams do, but we'll have to wait and see. It sounds like he's going to be here from the start, right? So,
yeah. It's been reported. Also, just one last football question.
Real quick.
So I heard. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So. I heard, as I told you in the chat, that the Eagles are trying to push for a Carson Wentz extension. How much money do you think that would be?
Oh man, I'll say at least $26-27 million a year. It's going to be a lot. He's going to be one of the top. He might be the top 8 quarterback. That's what always seems to happen.
Yeah.
When so.
I wouldn't be surprised if he became the top 8 quarterback.
He probably will. That's usually what happens when one of the upper guys.
I'm curious to see when Patrick Mahomes is up for an extension or something, how much money he's gonna get.
A lot. But I'm gonna let you go because I got somebody calling in. Thank you for calling in, Coach.
All right, appreciate you letting me call in.
You got it, buddy. Have a good one. All right. Next call. You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Yo, Entertainah talking sports, man. How you doing, bud?
What's up, Christopher Columbus? Well, now known as, what's the new channel name?
Central Coast Climber, man.
Central Coast Climber, that's right. What's up, buddy? And Bavit, I see you calling in. I will get you next. 516. I know it's 516. I'll get you next. What's going on, my man?
Hey, man, I haven't given you a call in a minute, you know what I mean? So I just drop in by and say, what's up, man?
I appreciate that, man. How you been?
Oh, it could be better, could be worse, man. But, hey, man, let's talk about that draft.
Yeah. You got, now it's free agency. You guys added Foles, which we kind of thought was going to happen. Of course, you're a Jaguar fan. And who do you want with that 7th pick if everything goes according to plan?
It's for me, man. There's a few positions that need to be addressed. You know, the left tackle position, we literally don't even have a backup on the roster. The center position, we don't have a backup on the roster. The running back position, you know, if Leonard Fournette goes down, you know, we got a 5'9" Thomas Rawls. You know, it's just there's a lot of positions that need to be addressed. Defensive end is also a big one. You know, we got Calais Campbell and Yannick Ngakoue, but one of those cats goes down, man, you know, you do not have a backup to replace them. So there's a lot of positions, and I honestly think Coughlin's going to go with defensive end. So he's gonna do what he did last year and take a defensive lineman. I think that's who we're going to snag. I don't really know who. There's multiple options on the board, and I think all the big ones are going to be taken pretty quick. But I think Coughlin's going to go defensive end on the first one.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean most people think you guys are either going to take. Most people think you're going offensive tackle, but you could certainly go pass rusher. Of course, you know you lost Fowler, so you could go pass rusher to get another guy in there. And at that pick, you're looking at probably either Gary, Brian Burns, Montez Sweat. That's what you're looking at there, because like you said, the big guys are going to be off the board. As a Giants fan, I hope you go tackle, because I'm hoping maybe one of those pass rushers sneaks down to me at 17, but you might be right. They may go pass rusher there.
Yeah, we just restructured Marcel Darius' contract for a defensive tackle, so we have a little bit more depth at the tackle position than we do at the defensive end. So I think we go defensive end first. Second round, we'll probably go tight end. Third round, we'll probably go offensive tackle. We actually had 2 third-round picks, which was kind of nice. So yeah, definitely within the first 3 picks, we're going to go offensive tackle, tight end, and defensive end. That's what I think we're going to go for.
Yeah, Jet Central was telling me that the tight end in that system is they want to use it a lot. And if you're going tight end in the second round, you're probably looking at potentially Irv Smith.
Yeah, you know, everyone's hoping for Hawkinson, but you know he's definitely not going to be there in the second round. That is a fact.
No, if you want him, you got to take him at 7 or trade down.
Hopefully somebody will be willing to kind of take that spot at number 7. But I think it really all depends whether or not you guys snag Haskins or not. If Haskins falls to number 7, I definitely predict Jacksonville's going to trade down with either Miami or Cincinnati. So it's really on your Giants, man, where Jacksonville's going to fall.
Giants hold a lot of keys to this draft. If Haskins gets to 6, we don't know if he will. Somebody could jump the Giants at 4 or 5 to get him. So we don't know what's going to happen. But if I'll stand by this. If Haskins is there at 6, as I've said from the beginning, I'm not going to be upset no matter what happens. But I would be surprised if the Giants don't take him if he's there at 6.
I mean, I really feel like they're really hoping it's going to be. You know, like you guys kind of played like the whole like, oh yeah, you know, we're definitely not interested in Haskins, wink, wink, kind of shindig. But you know, I definitely see. I don't definitely see him landing at number 6, but I definitely see you guys trying to snag him. If do you have any aspirations of trying to trade up for him? I seriously doubt it, but do you?
No. I don't want to trade up at all, regardless of the player. They have too many holes. But if he's there at 6, I think the Giants should and probably will take him. That's my honest opinion. Unless I don't ever see this happening, but if both him and Quinn Williams were there, then maybe that's one, or Josh Allen. But there's no way. I think there is a possibility. I was talking to one Giant rebuttal that Quinn Williams gets to us, but the only way I see that happening is if a team jumps us to get Dwayne Haskins. Then I think it's possible that a Quinn Williams could fall to 6.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
but
I could see the Bucs sticking with Devin White because everybody seems to think they love him at 5.
Yeah, that'd be really nice to snag Devin White. Geez, that would be amazing. But yeah, you know, all those big names are going to be coming off even right before 7. So yeah, man, I'm really, really hoping that your Giants kind of take Haskins, take the pressure off the Jags, because everyone wants the Jags to, snag Haskins or snag a backup quarterback. But, I see Jacksonville passing on a quarterback this round, waiting for the next draft and addressing all those holes that I mentioned earlier, tight end, running back, defensive end, offensive tackle, center, we have a very decent wide receiver core, especially picking up Conley. I thought that was a really, really good budget pickup for Jacksonville. They needed somebody, a veteran, established receiver, and bringing back Lee. It's just going to add to our receiver core. So, Foles has some decent hands that he can throw to. Not amazing by any means, but there's definitely options. And if we can address that tight end position, and I know Filippo, he likes running that two tight end out. So. Yep, that's where I think Jacksonville's going to go in the draft, man. So I just want to call in. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, man. But, yeah, man, thanks a lot for having me, man. I really appreciate it, brother.
Nah, man, thank you for being a big part of my channel. And keep up the good work over there with yours. I'm looking forward to watching more of your content.
Yeah, man, I just dropped a video for you and Bad Dog, man. So when you guys get a chance, go ahead and watch it. Make sure you watch it all the way through.
I didn't get your notification. I'll definitely check it out.
When you get a chance, man. I know you're a busy man.
No, I'll check it out after this, man. Thank you for letting me know.
All right, brother, man. You stay safe out there, bro.
All right, my man. All right, I think this is... I literally pick up Bavith. All right, now I think I got him. Bavith?
Rich, man. How you doing?
What's going on, Bavith? How you doing, my man? And I just want to say hello to any Christian Nazies in the chat. What's going on? Just want to say hello to Angel Johnson in the chat. Cars in the chat. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Mr. Bad Dog is in the chat. What's going on, my man? Everybody do me a favor, check his channel out, Mr. Gooner. So what's up, Bavith? How you doing, my man?
Hey, man, it's been a long time since we talked.
Well, yeah, we haven't talked in like at least 3 weeks, right, on the phone?
Yeah. So I'm going to start off from the top. From the Odell trade, I just want to let you know, real quick, I am in favor of the Odell trade. As you said, we're not going to win Super Bowl with him, so we might as well just trade him.
Yeah, we don't need him. As much as some people might not want to hear that, I think it was the best interest in the future of the Giants to trade him.
Yeah, talking about what's happening right now, as you heard, Gronk retired.
Right.
So, do you think there's a possibility he's going to come back during the season? Because I think it's a very high possibility. Like, if the Jags, like, the Patriots go, like, on a 2-game losing streak, I'm pretty sure Tom Brady will call him up and go, yo, get in this game.
I would never rule anything out. I mean, we saw Witten come back. He may even take a year off and come back. We saw Witten just did this year. So I would never rule anything out, but at this point in his career, he's already won his titles. He's so banged up. I mean, that guy, the beating that guy has taken, I would guess he's going to stay retired, but I wouldn't be shocked if he came back at all. I mean, you never count anything out. We've seen so many athletes, specifically in football, come back after they say they're retired, or attempt to come back. So, no, I wouldn't rule it out, but I won't expect it either.
And talking about the Patriots, how much, because Gronk's retired now, how many wins do you expect the Jets to get with Le'Veon Bell and Gronk being out?
Okay, now this is without looking at the Jets' schedule. I don't know their schedule. I know they obviously play our division. They're obviously an improved team. They brought in a really good middle linebacker. Le'Veon Bell's a very good running back. But here's what I'll say, and I think Le'Veon Bell's great. He's one of my favorite running backs in the league. But here's what I'll say about him. He's accustomed to running behind one of the best offensive lines in the league. He's now running behind maybe an average offensive line. I don't even think they're average. So to expect him to be the same, and the surrounding parts he had there, Ben Roethlisberger is better than Darnold is, at least at this point in his career, and they don't have a guy near Antonio Brown. So to expect Bell to be as good as he was is just not practical, in my opinion. So I think the Jets will be better. I think they'll be a 7 or 8 win team. If I had to guess, I'd be 7-9 or 8-8 this year.
All right, and which running back in New York is going to have a better season, Saquon or Le'Veon?
Saquon, definitely Saquon. Yeah. I think Saquon has the better offensive line. I think he's just a better running back. Le'Veon Bell sat out a full year last year. Saquon's, definitely Saquon.
Yeah, considering that, even though people are going to stack the box like the whole game, I still think that Golden Tate after 2 games can improve himself, get double coverage, and move on with that.
Well, people say they're going to stack the box, and they're going to try to do that. But it's not like the Giants don't have weapons. Like, Eli has people to throw to. Like, Evan Ingram, as much as I don't love the guy because he doesn't block, is a threat. Sterling Shepard's a threat. Golden Tate's a threat. They have guys they can throw to. So, yes, they're going to stack the box. But we saw last year, even when they stacked the box, the guys still did really well. Now, there were certain games where they bottled them up, but I still think Barkley's gonna break his big plays. He's going to get his touchdowns. He's going to have a great year.
Yeah, man. I don't know why he keeps hating on Evan Ingram, man. I'm telling you, he's going to be... I guess it's the but, like, come on, let's be honest. What tight end do you know on a current team blocks, except for Gronk?
Well, I mean, there's plenty of tight ends that block. I mean,
but, like, doing it great as, like, a primary job, and I don't see anyone as, like, comparable to, like, a good blocker as a tight end.
You're saying like an elite blocker?
Yeah.
I mean, off the top
or
of my head,
mediocre for, like, a tight end.
I mean, Evan Ingram's really bad. He's like the worst blocking tight end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it's kind of obvious when he's on the field, it's going to be a pass play or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he proved the last 4 games last year. He's really he's electric. I mean,
he's an athlete. He's an athlete.
He was their best weapon last year, the last 4 weeks of the year, and he was hurt before that. So Evan Ingram could be, and the thing with him is he drops a lot of passes too. He can't be dropping balls. His rookie year he dropped a ton. Last year he dropped balls. So he's got to work on that, but he could be a weapon. He could have a huge year this year. It wouldn't shock me. He might be their best receiver. He could be.
Yeah, especially with Washington having Manny Collins back. That's 2 free games for Evan Ingram.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Collins ain't going to be able to guard him, that's for sure. Collins couldn't guard me.
I mean, yeah, you're not that big. You know what I'm saying? But still. Hey, man, but I went on that Manny Collins. I'm happy at least you're playing it. That's great. That's a good start.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm going to have some Madden content up on the page. It's not going to be like an every week thing, but probably like once every 3 weeks I'll have somebody on, whether it be like someone like you or another YouTuber, and we'll play together. I'll do it every once in a while.
Hey, man, love to hear it. Love the channel. I'm still here for it. You know, that's all I got. Until next time we speak, have a good one.
All right, Bavi, thank you so much for the call.
You too.
All right. What's going on, Darnell? Hey, Chris, I tried to calling you. I got some questions for you. Giants, Mets, and Knicks. Darnell, yeah, I'll take one call at a time. That's all I could do. Actually, seems like nobody's calling in right now. So if you want to try to call in, go ahead. Chris, make a fantasy baseball league. Maybe I will do that. Let me just make sure the phone... This happened last time. Where's my phone? I want to make sure it's working. Because this happened last time. Oh, it's working. Okay. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? This is Darnell.
Darnell, what's up, buddy? You're coming in a little low.
I'm sorry, so let me turn it because I'm watching you literally. So let me put you on forward here, and I can talk to you now. Is that better?
Yeah, I hear you. Maybe if you could talk a little louder into the phone.
Let me take it off. You hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, Chris. Hey, man, yeah, like I said, I had 3 questions for each team. Let me just get right to the point. First question is, do you think the Mets paid the ground before the opening day?
No. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I don't think they will.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think they should. They should get out of the way. But this was the problem I had with the Mets last year. I was one that wanted them to trade DeGrom last year, to be honest with you, because I didn't know if they were going to pony up the dough, and I thought they should have went into rebuild mode. And last year was the time to trade him because his value was through the roof. But now they seem to be in another direction. Brody's been very aggressive, and they seem to be all systems ahead. They're trying to compete for a championship. So I think because you didn't trade him last year, I think they need to pony up the dough, and they need to sign this guy. So I agree with what Syndergaard said. Just get it over with. But no, I think they're going to nickel and dime him, and they're not going to pay him before opening day. I'd be surprised.
And that's a shame. That's a shame. And literally, I was at the Mets facility Saturday. Because usually they hold the thing for like they do the tickets, the group tickets and all.
Right.
And I got invited to actually buy some tickets, but then I started talking to one of the CEOs there. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to put him on blast, but even he works there, and he was telling me like, dude, like I just don't understand the organization. He said, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to do my best, but as working here, it's I mean we should have been paid him. And I told him, I said you should have paid him soon as Sale, he got paid with $50 million extension from the Rays.
Sales, yeah,
and then
ridiculous.
And then all of a sudden, Chris Sales gets 150. So now I think that just killed the whole negotiation talks between those two. So I'm like, because the Mets moving so damn slow, they should have been paid, and then he probably wouldn't be in this predicament.
I agree with you. I mean, they should have paid him. If they were, the thing is, I will say, to be fair to the Mets, they kind of had a transition last year where they knew that they were going to have a new GM, and they probably didn't want to make any decisions like that until the new guy came in. But I think that they should sign him to an extension at this point. He's by far their best player. He's the best pitcher in baseball right now. Without him, we have no chance. So, I mean, they should sign him.
Mm-hmm. All right. So next question. Now we're moving on to the Giants.
Yeah.
I want the Giants to get Devin White at 6 and Montez Sweat if he's there at 17. What do you think?
If that happens on draft night, you're gonna see me very happy. I'm gonna be very happy if they get Haskins too. I like Haskins, but Devin White at 6 is a leader. He's a great guy for the locker room. He's a great player, great athlete, and he's gonna be a middle linebacker for 10 years at least. So. And then as far as Sweat goes, Sweat's a great athlete. He fits the defense perfectly. Some people worry about the heart condition, but everything I've read, nobody's worried. Nobody thinks it's going to hurt his draft stock. So, yeah, I mean, if you get Devin White and any really good pass rusher, it doesn't necessarily have to be Sweat. If it's Calais Farrell, if it's Brian Burns, I'm going to be happy on draft night.
Absolutely. All right, my last question about the Knicks. This is a tough one. Do you think the Knicks make the playoffs if we get Zion in the draft and pick up KD and Kyrie?
Yeah. Definitely make the playoff. Obviously they have to stay healthy, but I think there'll be a second round playoff team bare minimum with that trio.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, because if you think about the East, it's just so East is getting better. I'm not gonna lie. Before, obviously, when LeBron was there, it was just always the Cavs because LeBron was the damn head leader with that shit. But now that you see Toronto with Leonard, and then you got the freak, he's pulling it, and then of course the teams are like they're getting these the all around players around them. It's like you got Brook Lopez with the Greek, and then you got Milton, and then you got with Toronto, you got who else you got? Even Marcus Gasol over there helping out.
Toronto's got the deepest team. I mean, the East is a lot better than people realize. I think they're very deep.
Absolutely.
But the other thing I factor in is you're not going to just get those three because you know what happens when you start bringing in superstars. Other role players want to go and play with those superstars, and they come for discounts. So the Knicks, if they could get Durant and Kyrie, they're going to be a contender in the East. I'm not going to predict it, but if they get those guys, they'll be a serious contender to come out of the East.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, Frisbee, those are my 3 questions, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. I love your show. Love watching it, and keep it going.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the call, man. Thank you for being a great, I can't say the S word. Thank you for being a good part of my channel. have a good one.
You too, man.
All right, let's take the next caller. I see Big Blue for Life is in the chat. Just want to say hello to him. Thank you for tuning in. Christian Orr, what's going on? And hello, you're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's up, Chris?
What's going on? Who's this?
AMG.
Oh, AMG. What's up, buddy?
I just wanted to know if you like this scenario.
Go ahead.
If let's say, because I think the Raiders, I think they're throwing smoke screens. I think they're going to trade up to 1 to try to get Kyler Murray, right?
I've seen a lot of people predict that. Yes.
But how would you like if I think we're going to have to trade up with the Jets. We give them a second round pick this year, and I think another third or a second next year. We keep 17, and we just swap 3 and 6, and at 17 we get someone like Brian Burns.
So you're saying take Haskins at 3, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So you're giving up to go from 6 to 3. You're giving up. What was your projected trade? Now I'm going to tell you what it cost the Jets last year, and I would think the Jets would want something similar. The Jets did that same exact trade last year, and they gave up 3 second-round picks. They jump from 6 to 3. I personally don't think he's worth trading up for. And I like Haskins, but I don't think he's the second coming of Andrew Luck. So I would not do it. I would stay put at 6 and hope he gets to me. If he doesn't, I'd fix my defense.
And do you think right now it's John Mara and them are setting smoke screens saying that they are taking a quarterback in the draft this year?
They don't. They could be telling the truth. It just might not be the quarterback that we think. They might take a quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round, and it could be smoke screens. It could be to drive up the value, so teams trade up, and then a player that they want falls to them. They get whoever they want, but who knows? I mean, I don't think it's in the Giants' best interest if they really want to take Haskins for them to publicize that. So it very well could be smoke screens.
One thing, I don't think it's probable that he'll drop down to 6, but my favorite player in this draft is Quentin Williams. I think he's going to be like the next coming of Aaron Donald.
I love Quentin Williams. I think he's my favorite player in this year's draft. I think he's the number 1 prospect in this year's draft. I love everything about that kid. And I don't know if he's going to be Aaron Donald. Like, Aaron Donald is had one of the greatest years in the history of football last year for a defensive lineman. But he's really good. I think Quentin Williams is a slam dunk prospect. And if he ever fell to the Giants at 6, I would be drooling. I'd be drooling.
Would you give up 2 first or 2 second rounders to trade up to get him, or you don't think we have like our team right now isn't good enough to trade up when we need all our picks?
Well, here's my take on Quentin Williams. I think he's either going to get to them or he's not. I don't think, like, if he falls to 5 and Tampa wants Quentin Williams, I don't think they're trading it. I think they're just going to take him. So I think that the Giants need to hope that they're dead set on like a Devin White. The only way this happens, in my opinion, that a Quentin Williams would fall to the Giants, because everything you're reading is the Bucs love Devin White. They need a middle linebacker. They have McCoy as a D tackle, so it doesn't necessarily fit for them to take Quentin Williams, even though he's a great player. Everything you read about Tampa Bay is that they love Devin White. So for this to happen, I think somebody would have to jump the Giants for Dwayne Haskins. Kyler Murray would have to go to Arizona. We'll say Miami trades up to the 4 spot, gets Dwayne Haskins. And then the Bucs would need to stay true to Devin White, and then they get Quentin Williams. That's the only way I see it happening.
And then, do you think that it's kind of ridiculous for a lot of people to say that we should tank next year for Tua? Like, let's say Miami drafts Dwayne Haskins this year, they jump us. Do you think it'd be like a crazy thing to say that we should tank?
I don't think they're tanking. I really don't. I don't think they're tanking. I think they're trying to win. I think they're trying to do what's very hard. They're trying to compete while rebuilding. And we'll see if it works. I really don't think they're tanking. And it's not like basketball. Like basketball, one player can change a franchise. Football's not like that. I mean, yeah, if it's Aaron Rodgers, but how many Aaron Rodgers are there? I mean, it's like there's an Aaron Rodgers once every 15 years, and there's no Aaron Rodgers in this year's draft. So I don't think Tua is Aaron Rodgers. I don't. So I don't think it's in the best interest of the team to tank. If they happen to get a really high pick next year and it works out that way, great. But I don't think they're trying to lose, and I don't think they should.
Last question. I'm a huge Celtics fan. I just want to put out there that you know we have one of the best small forwards in the league, right?
Well, yeah, the Celtics, yeah, of course.
Do you think that how scared were you when Duke almost lost the other night?
What do you mean? I hate Duke, so I was rooting for them to lose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I picked them in my bracket, but my bracket's dead at this point, so I was rooting for the upset.
All right, and Jeremy Lamb for the game winner.
What did you say?
You saw Jeremy Lamb's game winner?
Yeah. I mean, it was a great game.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go. I know you got, like, a bunch of other callers.
All right, my man. Thank you for the call, buddy. I'm going to be waiting for the next call. Thank you for the call. What's going on, Bodega? Kristen oh, God, here we go. Big Don in the house. Chad Warden in the house. Dwayne Basco in the house. If they don't take quarterback this year and end up with 7-1, say goodbye to drafting a quarterback next year and hello to an Eli. No way. They will not. I mean, I shouldn't say no way, Dwayne. You never know, but I'd be surprised. And the lines are open up. What's going on, Cooper? Are you getting my call? Yes, go ahead and call in, Big Green. I just can't answer while I'm on the phone. Go ahead and call in, buddy. I saw a 518 calling in. All right, this is not 518. I got to take it, though. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Welcome to Entertainah. He's got fun and games. He knows that the Giants stuck in the 80s is my name.
Stuck in the 80s is on the phone. Love his channel. Love this guy. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
I thought I'd do something a little different because, you know, I like to call in with something weird every time.
Yeah, of course, man. You always switch it up. Love this guy, man. And what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I see Mr. Bad Dog is in the chat, so a question I wanted to ask you, it's not football related, but it is sports related, is with the Los Angeles Lakers' abysmal season, does this hurt LBJ's legacy, and if so, how much?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
I try.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Maybe a little bit. I still think LBJ is one of the greatest players who's ever lived, and I don't think anything is going to change that. He passes the eye test for me. A lot of people say that he's soft and this and that, but LeBron James is unbelievable. Some of the things he's done on the court, and I know a lot of people might not like hearing that. A lot of people say Kobe's better. I don't even think they're close, to be completely honest with you. Kobe had the killer instinct. Yes, he was a great shooter at the end of games, but LeBron James does everything else better on a basketball court except for shooting the basketball. LeBron James is super special to me, and he's not Michael Jordan. He'll never be Michael Jordan, but I think he's exceptional. I think he made the wrong decision going to L.A. I think it was a stupid decision, and I think he hurt his image by doing what he did early on in his career. I hated him for doing it, but, I mean, what that guy can do, he's ridiculous. He's Magic Johnson on steroids. So, I mean, he's phenomenal.
I agree with everything you said there. He is the best player of this generation. The only thing that I think that's missing, and I saw it against the Mavericks early on in his career, and then last time they lost to the Warriors, he just sometimes checks out. And players like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant never did that. No matter what the score was, how many games they were down, they were still coming after you. He just doesn't have that ultimate killer instinct.
Yeah, if it's a last end of the game situation, I'm taking Kobe. I'll agree with that. But overall player, I don't even think they're close. I would have LeBron above him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Other question, and sorry, this is not sports related, but it is something you do. I've been working on OBS because I want to do a collab with some people that, you know, they're in the chat and that we work with. And how many freaking NDI plugins do I have to do for Skype here in OBS? Is it as many as I'm seeing online? I got to download like 5 or 6 things?
I had to download like 2 things. I had to download, I forgot what they were called. I looked it up, but it wasn't like 5. It was like 2. I have an Apple Mac, though. It might be I don't know what you have.
I got a PC.
Yeah, so it's probably a completely different process for you. I had to download, I'll tell you right now, actually. I had to download, it's something called multi-output device. So, I don't remember what the program was. But basically what was happening for me was the volume was not coming through when I had it outside, like through Skype, for example. It wouldn't come through in the stream, so I had to download something else for it to come through.
Okay.
But it still doesn't work for some reason when I use other things, like Zoom, for example. The volume won't come through. The couple other things that I've tried, so I can get video callers. I can still have video callers via Skype, but I was trying to get like a third-party type site where I could have video calls and take phone calls, but it doesn't work for some reason.
All right, something I want to work on, because even though I'm stuck in the 80s, I don't want my PC to be stuck in the 80s. So I'll keep working on it, because I want to have people on the show, and right now I can't use Google Hangouts because it won't detect my camera. And when I work with you, I don't always want to rely on you having to use your OBS.
No, yeah, man. No. The other thing, you got to get I don't know if you have a monitor, an extra monitor. That's what I do. I drag everything over to the monitor, and that's how I stream it. And then obviously I downloaded the programs.
I do have an extra monitor, so I'm good there at least.
Yeah.
All right, brother. I know you got a lot of people that want to call in, and I'm not even talking about sports anymore, so I don't want to take any more time. Hit the thing that with the thumb that points up from my bro. And Chris, you are so freaking close to 5,000 5,000 people. Congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for being a great part of the channel. Thank you very much.
All right, bro. Take care.
All right, have a good one. What's going on, El Muchacho? How you doing, my man? As we're waiting for the next call to call in. The LBGTQ. Oh, Bodega, what's going on with that? Yeah, I should stop so he doesn't get butthurt and time me out. As we're waiting for the next caller, it is 8:15. Calls seem to be slower today. Oh, there we go. We got a caller. What's going on? You're on live. What's going on, Gritty Giant? How you doing, my man? What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Bro, a cat just walked past me, scared the hell out of me. Oh, my God.
Ronaldo's in the house. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. God damn, meow. What the fuck?
What are you talking about? What's up, man?
Damn cat just like, I hate cats. I'm outside and it just ran past me. Like, what the? I hate New York, especially, guys. Damn cats everywhere.
All right, Ronaldo's getting scared by cats. Let's talk sports now. What's up?
Not much, just chilling. So, what are you guys talking about tonight? Anything interesting?
I mean, we're talking about, broad sports, whether it be the NBA draft, the NFL draft, whatever you want to talk about. Baseball's coming up. I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but that starts in 3 days.
Wait, I was so disappointed in the stream yesterday. I was so messed up, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this stream. Talking about Mets baseball. I just turned off my phone and went to bed.
Well, I mean, it's not, not everybody's a Mets fan, but I'm trying to talk, obviously me and JC are Mets fans, so we're trying to build that show up.
Yeah, we're probably gonna trade down the Jets.
You think the Jets are gonna trade down?
Yeah, I really do. If we get a good enough price, I think a team's gonna get desperate. It always happens.
I don't. I really
job
don't.
Security.
I really don't think the Jets will trade down because you guys have the perfect guy there. I mean, if I'm the Jets, I'm just happy with who I get there. Josh Allen's great for you guys.
Yeah, you guys are probably to get like a linebacker from LSU, right?
Giants, I mean, they go a lot of ways. They go Haskins, or they go Devin White, or they could go offensive line. They go Jawan Taylor. I'm leaning it's either going to be White or Haskins more than likely at 6, unless they trade down or do something like that. But I'd be surprised if Haskins is there if they don't take him. I'd be very surprised.
You guys been trying to fix this offensive line for like a decade now. Come on, what are you guys doing?
Well,
ridiculous now.
Well, they're starting to fix it. They brought in Zeitler. He's one of the best guards in football. Last year, of course, they drafted Hernandez. So I think they have an average offensive line at this point. But they need to continue to build.
A decade to have an average offensive line. That's crazy.
Well, they haven't had, yeah, I mean, they haven't had a good offensive line really since, like, 2010, 2011.
You guys won the Super Bowl, right?
And even that year, the offensive line wasn't that good. They really weren't. It was average, probably, but they weren't.
Eli could move at that point in time. He was able to at least evade some pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Eli that year was unbelievable. That was his best year. But, I mean, the offensive line...
I want to talk crap.
What?
I want to talk shit so bad about Eli right now. He literally won the Super Bowl that year. Oh, well.
But anything else, my man?
No, I just got home. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you for the call.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Taking the next caller. And what's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Peterson, fellow Seabrook alumni.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I just wanted to say, the Odell trade, at first I was against it. Right. I kind of wanted the Giants to hold on to him for one more year, try to get a quarterback, and see how they do. Mm-hmm. But he's gone. I listened to your scenario last night, which is a good scenario. Trade back and get more bodies.
Right.
Which I think is a really good move. I'm afraid for this year, because we don't have OBJ, different teams could kind of stack the box and Saquon could get hurt. I don't want him getting hurt.
Yeah, that's a fair concern, and they're definitely going to use Saquon. But you know what? You can't play scared. If it happens, it happens. But you're right. Teams are going to be definitely stacking the box on the Giants. They were going to do that with or without Odell. I mean, Barkley, he's such a weapon. I mean, teams are going to try to take him out. So I mean, people are they stacked the box last year with Beckham and without Beckham. Obviously, they focused even more so when Beckham was out, but they were going to stack the box regardless, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, so far, I think Gettleman's doing a good job. He's a hated man, but Bad Dog, and there was another guy that said something. Anyone who knows football, it's a team sport. It's not about one guy, and it sends a message to the league. Hey, we're not with antics. We're getting serious.
Yeah, well, I think what they're doing right now, they're cleaning up the locker room. That's what they're doing. Period. End of story. And That's what they're doing, and they're trying to change the culture, and they're trying. I think in the long run, it's going to be the good move because they're going to use that money a lot better, in my opinion. I go back to what I always say: you cannot pay a wide receiver quarterback money and expect to win Super Bowls. I stand by that.
I agree, and I live in Dallas now, so I have a lot of Cowboys fans, and I tell all of my coworkers, I say, listen, guys, this season is your small window. I said, Winton came back because you guys think you're going to win a Super Bowl. This is it for you guys. If you don't do it, let's say we get the quarterback and everything, we're going to come back in 2020 and we're going to be, a force to be reckoned with within the division. We're going to be the old Giants, the frustrating Giants. So
I think that the Cowboys are they have a small window, like you said, because I think they're going to pay Dak, and I think that's a mistake. And I think once they pay Dak, it's going to hurt the rest of their roster, because Zeke's going to have to get paid. They're going to have to pay these guys, and once they pay those guys, that roster is going to fall apart. I think it's a big, big mistake if they pay Dak, and I think they're going to do it. And that's why I think they have a small window. Once they pay Dak, and once they got to start paying these other players, Dallas is going to start to fall apart. I think they have a 2 or 3 year window. I think the Giants are in a prime position to take over that division within 2 years.
Yep, and sorry to say, I don't think we're going to get a quarterback. To be honest with you, I think we're going to trade back. I like your scenario. I think we're just going to amass pieces. We've always won with strong defenses. We'll draft a guy, in 2020 when it's quarterback heavy. That's what I think. And Poppy Chulo Sperm Cell says, yeah, don't time out Sperm. That's his Joker account. Don't time out Sperm Cell. Thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. I can't pay attention to the chat while I'm talking, so I apologize. But he's a good supporter of the channel. I agree with you that I'm gonna be happy either way. I always say that. I'm completely fine. But you're gonna see. I'm gonna have my Haskins scenario up tomorrow. And people are gonna. I already filmed half of it, and people are gonna see what it does to the rest of the draft. And then obviously, if they do a trade down, it's different. But in my personal opinion, if you take Haskins at 6, it takes away all the flexibility for that 17th selection. Like you are forced to go pass rusher, in my opinion, if you go quarterback at 6, because it's such an important thing. They need it. And if you don't address that with the 6th selection, you have to take it at 17. And if pass rushers are falling off the board, they're going to have to reach a little bit rather than taking the best available player. So that's the effect it will have taking a quarterback. But I still am not going to be upset if they take Haskins because I think it's more for the future, not for next year. If they're worried about next year, they don't take a quarterback next year. The best possible. But who's playing right tackle? Who's playing right tackle this year? They need to draft the offensive tackle.
No, they do. They can't go. They can't go into the year with Chad Wheeler. They can't go into the year with Wheeler at right tackle. Jalapeno's even questionable at center. I think they'll take a center or a guy capable of playing center probably in the later rounds, like the 4th or 5th, to compete with Jalapeno. But I think right tackle, I would be surprised if they don't take one at 37 the latest. I'd be surprised. All
right, man. Well, thank you.
You got it, man. Thank you for the call.
Great show.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the call, man.
All right.
So, Dwayne Basco, Chris, I've done scouting on pass rushers. They go 3 rounds deep. All right, yeah. I mean, there are some good pass rushers in this draft, but I think with as big as a need as it is for the Giants, I think it's really hard for the Giants because they're going to have, as I just said with the last caller, I think they're going to have to take a right tackle by no later than 37 in this year's draft, in my opinion. So if you don't take a pass rusher at 17, you're not taking one until the end of the 3rd round. And that's, I don't know about that, but that's just my opinion. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hello, Chris. It's Nelson.
Nelson, what's going on, my man? Nelson. What's up?
All right. I was just, I just want to make the only point about Aaron George's advice to Zion.
I'm sorry. What about Zion?
I just want to talk about the Aaron George advice to Zion Williamson for the Knicks.
Okay, go ahead.
The advice to Zion, just go out there, have fun, play hard for the city, because the city is going to see that if you're playing hard and giving the 110 net, they are going to have your back. We got great fans in New York, and he's going out there doing his job. He's going to put on a show for everybody. So that's like a good one, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I want Zion to be a Knick at the end of the day. I hope they get him. John Morant looked great in the tournament, but, I mean, at the end of the day, if Zion's there, they got to take him at 1. Now, they only have a 14% chance of getting him, but hopefully it works out. That's all I can say.
Okay, I think that's all I got. So get busy just get busy.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right.
Thank you for the call.
All right.
Thank you for the call, Nelson. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. We're waiting for the next call. Yeah, that's all right. I try to take the calls from Nelson. Asia, yeah, I know they are. I'd appreciate it if you don't advertise it on my channel. I know they are, and I'll be over there after. Yes, drunk dude is right. Ark Aim Asylum in the house. What's going on, my man? As waiting for the next call. 8:28 to go. Why did Kristen Orr leave? What happened? And why do we keep... See, this type of stuff I don't like to deal with when I'm on calling shows. I don't want to have to deal with the chat. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Entertainah. It's MH.
Who's this?
MH.
Oh, MH, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just want to talk to you because I was watching these college games, and John Morant really, he showed me something. I mean, I didn't like him before. I wasn't really a big fan, but now I think I'm a fan now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of John Morant before the tournament. I just can't see the Knicks taking him above Zion Williamson, though. No matter how good he is, can't take him above Zion Williamson as far as I'm concerned. Zion's number 1, but yeah, I would take him number 2 for sure. I would have taken him number 2 before the tournament.
Yeah, because I was more big on Barrett over Morant, but then I looked at what he did and like his confidence shooting, and I mean, I know we have guards on our squad already, but you may prefer to take a guard who can take you to the next level more than a wing. I think I'd take Morant more likely, but I think when it comes to Zion, you can't really pass up on him, number 1. But number 2, that'll be more of a debate if we were to have number 2. So just in case you need a backup plan. So, yeah.
Yeah, I get what you said. Now, some people say they don't want Morant because they think that, well, not that they don't want him, but they think the Knicks are going to sign Kyrie, and it doesn't make sense to take a point guard if they get Kyrie, but I'm not sold on Barrett. I'd feel much more comfortable with taking Morant instead of Barrett. I'm not sold on Barrett.
Yeah, because it's before free agency this time?
Yes, I believe it is. Yes, it is before free agency. It's reversed of football.
That makes it more questionable I mean, because then you don't want 2. I mean, then we're gonna have a plethora of guards, and we have to be sure, because if we don't get, we have to make sure that even if we get, if let's just say at worst case scenario we get nobody, and we just save that money up for next year, then we need to know that we can just rock with the young guys. Maybe we will have another bad year, which again I hate losing basketball, but if you don't sign anybody big or any good players, then you might as well just keep the young youth we have. I mean, a lot of guys on the squad are developing. I mean, Knox, he just had a stint in the road. He was injured the last game. He sprained his ankle. And then Neil has been injured for a while. I mean, obviously, I know fans are not big on him at all, mostly because he's not offensively, he's not a good player, and I understand that. Defensively, as a role player, I don't think he could be. I mean, he could be a very good. I mean, I don't know. His development is really strange. He could either be he could be a pretty good starter in the NBA, or he can be a flat out bust, which we don't know yet. But so far it doesn't look good for him specifically. But Knox, I think he's more of a guarantee to develop.
Yeah, Knox, I think, and by the way, Bottom asked, hey Chris, does drafting Morant hurt the chances at Kyrie? That's actually a good point that I never even thought about. Like, does it? Yeah, it probably does. I mean, Kyrie, I would guess, probably doesn't want to come here as much as another team if you go out and you get a John Morant. But I don't think the Knicks have to. They can't think that way. Like, if they think Morant's the guy at 2, they have to take him. Like, in my opinion, you don't draft based on if you think you could get a guy in free agency. Kyrie has injury problems too. You take Morant, in my opinion, at 2 if he's there. But hopefully we get one and we don't even got to worry about it. But and you were just saying Knox. I like Knox. I think Knicks fans definitely overrated him when we drafted him. Like, Knicks fans were saying, you know, he's going to be a superstar, and, you know, he could be Kevin Durant and this and that. I think Knox could be a good player. I don't think he's going to be a great player. In my opinion.
Okay. Well, I mean, I agree with that, but I mean,
when I say good, I mean he could be a really good player, like a Rudy Gay, like that, like yeah. But I don't think he's gonna be like a superstar. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I can see like Tobias Harris now in a few years, maybe. Like, that could be, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not expecting it, to be honest, but yes, I wouldn't be shocked if he turns into being a Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris started off slow too, and then he developed.
So I also want to talk to you about, because I know you're a big Haskins guy. Like,
right.
So Kyler Murray, you say if Kyler Murray was available, like, I know that a lot of the rumors are that he'll go number 1, but if he was, like, let's just say it was between Murray and a Devin White, let's just say, would you, if it was your choice, would you take Kyler over a guy like Devin White or no?
I don't think it's going to happen. I'd be shocked if that becomes the choice. That's a tough decision. I would. Oh man. If I was sold, if I was sold on Murray, like if I'm Gettleman and I am sold on him and I think he's the guy, you have to take a quarterback there. You have to, in my opinion. But you have to be sold. I don't just take him to take him. So if they're sold on one of these guys at 6, in my opinion, you got to take him, because you don't know when you're going to be picking up at that point in the draft again. Now, I completely get the logic of going defense, because the defense is the biggest problem in this team. Everybody likes to blame Eli. Eli is not the biggest problem in this team, but he's 38 years old. He's going to be 38 years old. And we have to start thinking about the guy that's going to take over for him. And he's not what he was, and they're in a position this year to take the quarterback. So if they like a quarterback, in my opinion, they should take one.
I mean, you know what we could do? Just Kyle Leonard mania. Just throw him in. We'll throw him into the Wolves. I mean, I know Giants fans will like that, but I mean, it would be funny for me if they actually ever thought about running Loretta for like a good amount of time, because he just had such a bad. Like, I saw, like, the small, like, even in the Redskins, like, a blowout, the game that really got me to become a fan. Loretta just wasn't, like, he was not hitting on, like, the simplest passes.
No, Loretta's not even going to be on this team. I think they're going to cut Loretta. I really do. I don't even think Loretta's going to be on the team. Eli's going to be the starter. No matter what they do in the draft, Eli's going to be the starter at the beginning of the year. The only way that Eli would not be the starter at the beginning of the year, potentially, is if they trade for Josh Rosen. Because then, to me, I don't see the point. Like, why trade for Josh Rosen? I mean, maybe they think he can learn under Eli, I guess. But, I mean, the guy's already played a year in the league. Like, let's put it this way. They're going to have a much shorter leash on Eli if they get Rosen, as opposed to a Haskins. So, like if they draft Haskins, I could see them, if the team's doing well, I could see them starting Eli all year, just like the Chiefs did with Alex Smith, with Pat Mahomes, and then they let Mahomes take over the next year. But if they're not doing well, then he'll step in, you know. But if it's Rosen, I think Rosen's the starter very soon. I mean, within 4 weeks.
And I want to get one more question, and it's about the Mets. You guys talked about it yesterday on the Mets show with JC. That great looking man, honestly. What was it? The band rotation. Now, I was thinking about. Well, like Ahmed, I know, like I think a lot of people in the organization think he will be at that he'll be bad in 8th, but I think we should test. I know we shouldn't be testing music to regular season. We shouldn't be testing out your lineups. Then like the first 10 games, I wouldn't mind trying maybe to put Rosario up, like maybe I don't know if I bat him lead off, but I think that's what, like, the way he plays. We do need some speed up there. Maybe, I don't know, him or Broxton, just because, I mean, I think that's just how I think when it comes to, like, lineups. You start the speedy guys off and you get, like, 2 and 3 hitters or contact guys to keep going, then you get the power guys.
No, I get what you're saying. I get they're not going to do it because we know how Callaway manages. He's a very analytical guy, and analytics tell you to go with the guy who gets on base. They're going to go with Nimmo, I think, to lead off. But I don't hate the... First off, Broxton was horrible last year. There's no way, in my opinion, that he starts the year as leadoff. Could he develop into that? It's possible. And it would be nice to have him at the top of the order because, like you said, he has some speed. It would extend the lineup. You're going to be able to, you'd be able to bat a guy like an Alonso, even possibly in like the 7th spot. So it would extend the lineup back down if you did that. But I don't see it. I really don't. I think that they'll lead off Nimmo. I really think he'll be the guy.
You see, that's great insight right there. You guys got to call in. This guy is amazing. Every time, this guy gives me good content.
I appreciate that, MH. I appreciate that. You're the best, man. Keep up the great work on your channel, by the way. Keep grinding.
Yeah, see you, man.
All right, my man. Have a good one. Johnny Football will be back in the NFL. I didn't get to see his AAF. I know people were saying, Primetime Cheetah, that he was doing really well. I unfortunately didn't get to see how he did.
Whoa, I'm already there.
What's going on? Who's this?
This is Big Green.
Oh, Big Green, what's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Just waiting outside BK.
Okay.
Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about, a few things, actually. Well, since Todd Bowles went to Tampa Bay, I was thinking maybe since Darren Lee was improving this past season, he might want to pick him up and do some kind of trade work over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what you would get for him. I'm not sure what his value would be. But, actually, crap. The wife's calling, but, yeah, anyways, I've been waiting all night for this. Been in the car since 6.
Oh, wow.
But I think if Haskins there at 6, you should actually just trade down, get whatever you can, and just rebuild over the next few years.
So you would go, I don't know if you watched my video, but you would take that route, what I presented in that video.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I'll say this. It's not the worst idea in the world. I'm not going to be screaming if they do that because it sets everything else up but the quarterback position. It gives you the ability to bring in 3 really good defensive players, an offensive lineman for the future, if everything panned out the way that mock worked out. Now, you could substitute player A for B, rather than, Gary, you take Burns or whatever, or rather than taking Baker, you take Byron Murphy, or rather the Reisner, you take, another Cajuste or another offensive tackle there. But that would be the plan I would have if I were to trade down, fill in those positions.
Right. Yeah, but I would, depending on the value, depends on what they're offering you, but I would actually probably try to take whoever is closest to you. That way you still get a great pass rusher. Because I think your offense is well, other than the quarterback. Other than that, it's all defense, in my opinion.
Well, the offensive line, they got to fix. The right tackle.
Yeah, you can do that in the 3rd, 4th round. There's a lot of talent throughout this.
Yeah,
I know the Jets need offensive linemen, big time.
Yeah, the right tackle's a travesty. I mean, they need to fix that. But yeah, in terms of skill position players, a lot of Giants fans are saying they want Hollywood Brown, DK Metcalf. That doesn't make any sense to me. You already have they have enough skill position players to get by. But yeah, defense is definitely, other than quarterback, of course, is definitely the thing they need to look at the most in this year's draft. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Not even
So,
close.
anybody still on your radar in free agency?
The thing is, the Giants don't have money. I mean, the Jets still got some dough. The Giants don't have any money. They had no money to begin with. They were penny pinching from the start.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the money they have left is going to be dedicated to the draft. And they have a lot of draft picks. So I think they have 12 picks. So they're going to have to, and I think they'll trade some of them. I think that they have 3 5s and 3 7s. I think they're going to couple some picks to try to move up in the draft, whether it be to get back up into the third, they're going to do something. I don't think they're going to stand pat with all 12 picks, but yeah, I don't think they're going to be adding many other players through free agency.
All right. And a little off topic. I was thinking, since I know some of the shows we were just talking about, just BS and back and forth. You watched Game of Thrones, and are you excited for season 8?
I do, and I am. The thing is, when does that start? In about 2 weeks?
I'm not sure if it's April 14th or.
Yeah, I know it definitely starts within a month, and I have to rewatch like the last 2 seasons. I always like to do that. I to just because especially that show, if you watch it, I mean, you have to pay attention to every little detail. So I'm probably going to go back and watch the last 2 seasons, probably starting this week when I have some time, and try to refresh on everything But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I love that show.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's great. I think it's up there like Star Wars. I mean, that's my era. I grew up Star Wars.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie ever. So I mean, it's kind of in that same. Even though it's not, obviously it's not. It's much more X-rated. There's incest and all that.
Right.
But it's similar. So I really do like the show. So it's a great show. And my favorite show ever is Breaking Bad, but I do like that show a lot.
I couldn't get into Breaking Bad. I saw first 3 episodes of season 1. I just couldn't get into it. But
you got to give it a chance. Well, I would say if you gave it to the end of season 1, that last episode, you would be hooked. You'd be hooked.
All right, yeah, I'll give it a try then. But instead of watching the last 2 seasons, I think you should rewatch the first season because George R. R. Martin's been saying everything relates back to the first season.
Okay.
So,
and you want to talk about the greatest twist ever? That I remember watching the first season, the last episode. That twist was crazy, and obviously the Red Wedding or whatever it's called was great too. But yeah, maybe I'll go back and watch that first season again.
All right, man, but good talking. You keep up the good work, and nice haircut, by the way.
I appreciate that, Big Green. Thank you for the call. Thank you for being a great part of the channel.
All right, anytime. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good one. Breaking Bad, The Office, Is Always Sunny. Yes, all those are great shows, John Smith. And another one I really like is one of my ex-girlfriends made me watch it. At first, I didn't like it. It's similar to The Office. Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec I thought was hilarious. But if you like Breaking Bad, you'll like Ozarks. I have not watched that yet. Good point, Jose Reyes. Leia did kiss Luke. That is true. SpongeBob. I never watched SpongeBob. Never watched it. It was after my generation. How many exes you got? Not many. I had 3 serious girlfriends. 3. And it's 8:43. I will have to check it out. Seems like it's dying down. Not getting a lot of callers tonight. I think that, but I'll wait a couple minutes, see if we get some callers. Do you know Packers vs. Bears is season... Did the schedule come out, Raphael? Did the schedule come out already? I didn't know if it did. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
No, what's up? It's Jubes from your channel. What's going on?
I'm sorry, who is this?
It's Jubes.
Jubes. You first time caller?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Nothing much. I just thought I would talk to you about Zion Williamson. What's going on with that?
Absolutely.
So my personal opinion is I don't think Zion's built for this year of NBA. If you know what I mean, it's not really a big man genre anymore. It's more of a 3-and-D thing,
Yeah, I get where you're going with that. I mean, he doesn't have a jump shot right now. I think he's going to develop it, but right now, he doesn't have a great jump shot. I get where you're going with that.
So I think right off the bat, I think RJ is probably going to perform better than him. He's John Morant's in them. But I think after a few seasons, he'll kind of develop into a traditional NBA big man.
Yeah, he reminds me, the player he most reminds me of when I watch him play is Larry Johnson, before Larry Johnson got hurt. And when Larry Johnson first came in the league, he was an animal. He was unbelievable in college with UNLV. That's who he reminds me of. He's kind of like the same build, 6'7", 6'8". Built like a tank. Had hops off the ground. That's who he reminds me of, and I think he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be fantastic. But I get what you're saying. He doesn't have the jump shot of the modern day, but he's kind of like a tweener. If he ever gets a jump shot, he's gonna be unstoppable. And there's been plenty of players that develop jump shots. I'm not really too worried about it, to be honest. I think he'll develop it.
Yeah, I'm just worried about it being like a Markelle Fultz situation where kind of have to rely on the inside more.
Yeah, but Markelle Fultz played a position that is much more important to be able to, like, point guards have to be able to shoot, especially in today's modern day NBA. I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to be an all-star. If not his first year, by his second year, he'll be an all-star in the NBA.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the Brown situation going on there?
Like next year's team, you mean?
Yeah, next year's team.
I think the Browns, they have a good team, but I'll say this: I don't know if it's going to be long-lived because they're bringing in a lot of high-priced players. Now Vernon comes off the books in 2 years, but Beckham's going to be getting paid. And I always say it's very hard to win when you're paying a receiver that kind of money. Now, the Browns do have the benefit that they're not paying their other players a lot of money, so it kind of works there. The Giants, of course, are paying Eli a ton. They're paying Baker still on his rookie deal. Miles is still on his rookie deal. Denzel Ward's still on his rookie deal. But once those guys get their money, you can't keep Odell on that team. So they have like a 2 or 3 year window, in my opinion, and then they'll probably fall apart. Unless they get rid of Odell and move on, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I think they'll get really close to a championship, but I don't think they'll do it.
I don't think they'll do it this year, but I think they could win one within the next 2 or 3. I don't know if I would predict it, but I wouldn't be shocked. But no, not this year. I'm not picking them. I think they are the favorites to win the North, though.
Yeah, I see everyone talking about that.
Yeah, I think they're the favorites to win the North. But the Ravens certainly could. The Ravens certainly could.
If Lamar Jackson can develop into a better pocket pass, I think he could definitely bring that team far.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. And I think the Ravens are going to definitely draft a wide receiver in the first round this year. Which one, I don't know. I seem to think it'll be N'Keal Harry because every Raven fan I've talked to has said that they need to get a tall target for Lamar Jackson, a guy that could go up and catch jump balls. And he's 6'5", so that I think is the best fit. So I really think they're going to take him in the first round. But I think they're going to get a receiver regardless. They're going to get him a weapon. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's the future there, but we'll see. Their defense is still really good. Now they lost to Darius Smith, but I still think they have a really good defense. I still think the Ravens could easily win that division next year. I wouldn't count them out, and I still won't count out the Steelers. Everybody's counting them out. I'm not going to count them out yet. I won't. But the Browns are the favorite.
Yeah, I wouldn't put the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger has done more with less, so I think he could definitely pull it off.
They still have a really good offensive line, and Connor demonstrated last year, at least for most of the season, that he could get the job done. So I think Juju's obviously going to take a bigger, more expanded role. I'm not picking them, but I'm not going to be shocked if they compete in that division.
What do you think about the Raiders, speaking of the Steelers here, with Antonio Brown?
I think it was a great trade for the Raiders. They didn't give up much, and they signed him. Well, I think it was a 3-year deal. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy deal, and I think the Raiders really improved their team this offseason. They still play in a really tough division, but I like what the Raiders did this offseason, and they're going to be able to improve their team a ton in the draft. So with 3 first-round picks and an early second, they have 4 picks in the first 35 selections, and one of them being the 4th pick overall. So the Raiders could be really good next year. Definitely within 2 years, they could be really good.
Yeah, I guess you just have to hope that Derek Carr can go back into his MVP form.
Yeah, I don't know about Derek Carr, but they seem to be married to him, so we'll see.
Yeah, personally, I think you have to move on from Derek Carr and try and find another quarterback, but we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah, we'll see, man. But anything else, buddy?
No, that's it. Have a nice day.
You too, man. Thank you for the call. Got somebody calling in here. It's an unknown person. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
The Giants are fucking trash. Nigga, nigga, nigga.
Sorry about that, guys. Last time I'll take an unknown person. I'm not going to react to that because they're just going to keep calling if I do that, so I apologize. What's up, Devon Griffin? He says, who is the New York Giants taking? It's a great question. I still think if I had to guess, I think that they'll take Haskins if he's there. But the only reason I answered the unknown number is because last time... Yeah, go ahead. Call in. The only reason I answered the unknown number was because last time it was a legit call. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Entertainah, how are you, sir?
What's going on, my man? The OJ. What's going on, my man?
Not much. All just real quick before I talk about what I'd like to talk about. That Bobby Woodruff, Shasters.
Yes, the Shasters. Yes.
Okay. Now, let me just say, he came up with that off the top of his head.
Yes.
Within 2 seconds. I mean, the genius that comes out of that man's mouth when it comes to anything, when you talk about sports or anything. I don't know if you've noticed, because I know we all watch his videos. I try to rewatch them almost on a daily basis.
Right.
But he has not made a current video in quite some time. And I've come to the conclusion the reason why he has not is because he doesn't want to overexpose himself. What's your take on that?
You might be right. I don't know if he's still in the chat. I might have to ask him that question. That's a great point. He might not want to share all of his knowledge with the rest of the YouTube community. So.
Exactly. Now, just real quick, one other thing. Back to that, the name that he came up with the Shasters. Normally, that would take like an entire think tank to come up with.
Right.
And for him to come up with that so quickly, I've just been sitting here listening to the show in absolute amazement. So I just wanted to start off with that.
That's why it took you so long to call. I just want to say hello to everybody who popped in. I see Blue Faces in the house, Buster Cherry in the house. Thank you guys for coming in. Pat 1984. But yeah, so you were just in shock there for like an hour and a half, just thinking, or 2 hours, just thinking about what he had said.
Absolutely. I kept replaying it. That's how amazed I was. But I know last time we spoke, you have your computer in front of you, right?
Yes.
Okay. The Jets just re-signed one of the worst offensive linemen in the league, Brett Cavalli.
Okay.
He's just a piece of garbage. Can you look him up and tell me what PFF has him rated at?
Brett Cavalli? Yeah, I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, QVALE.
QVALE?
Yes.
Okay. What does he play? Tackle, guard?
Yeah, he plays right and left tackle.
Yes, I got him right here. He's 28 years old. He went to Nebraska. Oh my God, he is rated. He is rated an overall grade of 43, which ranks as barely like an NFL player. Like, he's really bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike McCagnon.
What was the deal for?
I don't know. It's just like a 1-year deal. Hopefully he'll get cut maybe during training camp. But yeah, no, I don't. It wasn't a lot of money. But he was one of the guys that I swore, I kept saying they better not bring him back. They better not bring him back. And what do? They bring him back. So
yeah. Overall, though, I think as a Jets fan, you gotta be pretty happy. I know that you guys had huge expectations going into the offseason with all the money they had, and the Giants will get their chance next year, hopefully. But you gotta. Well,
wait a minute. Let me straighten you out on one thing here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say high expectations.
Well, when I say high expectations, I don't mean in terms of winning Super Bowls. I mean in terms of improving the team because you had a big offseason.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we've ever gone over this. I mean, I've been going to my father had season tickets for the Jets when they were the Titans. Okay. Starting at the Polo Grounds, then moved to Shea. I started going to Jet games when I was 10 years old, 1976. That just goes to show you how old I am.
Wow.
But I have, at this point, I'm 52 years old. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I have absolutely zero expectations.
Right.
For the Jets.
So you've kind of just numbed yourself.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Let the chips fall where they may. Whatever. The only thing that could ever make me fall for the hype and fall for the off-season stuff and all of that, I'll never fall for it. The only thing that'll ever change me or make me feel differently is if they win a Super Bowl.
And do you think Darnold is the guy? Do you think he's going to be finally the quarterback that gets you guys over the hump?
Of course not. Of course not. Yeah. Are you kidding me? I mean, look, Darnold is the best thing that's come as far as a quarterback is concerned. He's the best thing that's happened to the Jets. I hate saying Joe Namath because I was not a Joe Namath fan even when I was a kid. But, yeah, I mean, he's probably the best quarterback coming out of college that the Jets, I think, have ever had when I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
There's nobody else. I remember when I was a kid, 1977, that's the year they drafted Richard Todd out of Alabama.
Right.
And everybody thought that Todd is God and all of that garbage. But of course that didn't work out. And the whole thing with Sanchez, that was a load of crap. So my expectations here are higher than usual when it comes to Darnold.
Right.
But I'm just not expecting the Jets to do the right things to put him in the right situations and that type of thing, So whatever, it is what it is. Yeah. But that's why it's like I so much enjoy watching a guy like Jet Central, and other people, young guys that talk about it, because I know exactly where they're coming from. I was in their shoes, and hopefully they won't have to go through the crap that I've lived through my entire life.
Well, I'll say, I think it's encouraging for the Jets. I think the future is encouraging. I know you might not believe that because you have a negative, and you have every right to feel that way. But
right.
The one, if I was a Jet fan, I would have been slightly disappointed with the offseason, to be completely honest with you. With the amount of money they had, obviously I'd be happy with Bell. I think you guys got him for a good deal. But I would have wanted Paradis. I really would have, and I think he was there for the taking. That was a big miss for you guys, in my opinion.
Well, no, me too. Paradis or Morse, and you see what I mean. This is what it's like being a Jet fan. Now we don't have a starting center.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do? Put this kid Harrison in there, who's basically he's at best a backup.
I think you might draft one, but it won't be until the third round, unfortunately, unless you make a trade or something. But
right. Well, we'll see. But if we trade or we don't trade, well, you'll see. The Jets will take remember. I don't know if you no, you're not too young for it. Like back in 2004. The Jets, with the second-round pick, took Mike Nugent, a kicker out of Ohio State.
That was their first pick in the draft that year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for them to pull some kind of crap like that again.
I remember when they made that pick, and they were good at that point, I think. Like, they had a really good roster. Like, people thought they had a really good roster. And Jet fans justified it by saying, well, that's the only thing we need. And I remember saying, like, what are you talking about?
Well, yeah, it was because the season prior to that, they had lost. I believe we had lost in the playoffs
because of a kicker.
And I think and it was
Steelers.
To Pittsburgh.
Steelers, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was because of Doug Bryan, the kicker. He missed a very important kick, so everybody wanted his head.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll let you go. I know you got people trying to call in.
Yeah, man, you got it, man. Thank you so much for the call, man. Always appreciate when you call in. You're a great part of my channel. I really appreciate that, my man. Thank you, Mark.
Hey, buddy. Thanks a lot. Take it easy.
All right, have a good one. And I think Bobby was not here anymore. I don't think he got to hear that. What's going on? What is going on? And why is Chuck Sharks confused? What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Yo, Chris, I'm hurting, man. I'm hurting.
You're hurting? Why are you hurting?
UCF lost yesterday, man. Nail biter. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was a tough. This is a UCF Jaguar, of course. That was a tough loss for you guys. I really thought you were going to pull it. I mean, obviously not before the game, but while it was being played, I thought you guys were going to pull that out.
Yeah, we had our chances, man. I mean, we fouled Zion going to the hoop. We had 2 potential game-winning shots, just put it in there, and missed an alley-oop. I mean, there were so many things that just went wrong, and I really can't believe. I mean, I can't believe we lost, man. I'm still at a loss of words. And I don't know if you saw, there was a post-game. They showed the head coach of UCF, Johnny Dawkins, talking to the team, and they have the camera on him. You can hear all the UCF players just crying. I mean, I couldn't watch it all. It was so sad.
That's the what's great about. I mean, it's great and bad about the tournament, but you really see how much it means to these kids, and it's kind of refreshing, especially in today's modern sports world where you feel like the athletes don't care nearly as much as they used to. That's really one of the things I love most about the tournament is when you get to see the emotions of the players, whether it be from a loss or a win. It's sad to see, but I actually enjoy. No, I don't enjoy when people are upset, but I do like to see how much they care.
Yeah, I mean it was a wild game, man. Just UCF. I mean, this tournament. This is their first against VCU. That was their first ever tournament win. So they're kind of an up and coming program, but it's kind of amazing what the athletic department at UCF has just done the last 5 years. I mean, 5 years ago you'd probably never heard of UCF until Blake Bortles, led UCF to the Fiesta Bowl and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden college football got really good. And then, now it looks like UCF basketball is kind of on the upswing of things. And it's, it's exciting, man. It's cool to be a UCF night right now.
Yeah. I just thought about that as you were talking. You must have been so excited because I know obviously you're a huge UCF fan when you guys took Bortles. I mean, obviously it didn't work out, but as a Jaguar fan, you were probably really excited when they took him.
Dude, it was hype, man. I was a sophomore in college, and I was just I didn't know we were gonna get. Honestly, that draft, I thought we were gonna get Amari Cooper, or Khalil Mack, one of those guys. I thought we were gonna get, and then all of a sudden they say Blake Bortles, and I'm like, oh my God! My cell phone is just going off, and I've got literally all my friends texting and calling me, and I mean, it's a cool moment to see your college quarterback of the school that you go to get drafted to your team. I mean, it was a really cool time.
Yeah, I could imagine. I mean, obviously he sucks, but but at the time, of the draft, you must have been really pumped up. And
hey, but I think Blake Bortles is the missing piece for LA to make their Super Bowl run. I mean, Blake Bortles plays good against Tom Brady. And I don't know. Jared Goff put up a big number 3 on him.
No, maybe, and we all know that backup quarterbacks can beat them in the Super Bowl. We saw it with the Eagles, so maybe you're right there. In terms of the draft, we were talking a little bit about the draft. This year's draft. Now you know who you have at quarterback. I asked another Jaguar fan earlier, Christopher Columbus. He's part of your channel. Who he wanted. He said he would have preferred a pass rusher at 7. Do you share the same thought process?
Well, here's my thing. I mean, here's the thing. If Haskins is there at 7, man, I'd be awful tempted to take him. But let's just take him out of the situation. I mean, I want to go offensive player unless a guy like Nick Bosa or Quinn Williams somehow falls to number 7.
Which won't happen.
Because I think that'd be.
Yeah, it won't happen.
I mean, it's not going to happen. But I'm just saying if if the improbable situation that happens,
right?
Man, I'd want to do something like that. But I mean, the Jaguars, man, I want to go T.J. Hawkinson. I want to get a tight end, man. And everyone says, oh, tight end's not worth the number 7 overall pick. No. And I always bring up this argument. It's I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, and I brought this out in one of my live streams and had people kind of comment down below what they think. Who is more important to the Kansas City Chiefs? Tyreek Hill, number 1 wide receiver, or a guy like Travis Kelce? And then, I looked down at the comments, half the people were saying Kelce, half the people were saying Tyreek Hill. And it's okay, well, why did Tyreek Hill's worth the number 7 pick? Why is Travis Kelce not worth the pick? You know what I mean? Just because generally have tight ends get drafted that high. Doesn't mean that if the position really hits and you get a Rob Gronkowski, that's not worth a number 7 selection, you know?
No, it's a good point, and everybody seems to love Hawkinson. I think Hawkinson seems to be more of a complete tight end. Font seems to be a slightly better athlete. But Hawkinson's definitely gonna be the first one taken, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I like to have a guy like Hawkinson just because I want a guy that's pretty good at run blocking, especially in an NFL where just the play of the offensive line is going down. If you can have a good tight end to kind of chip, help out like the right tackle or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be big. And I know a lot of people are throwing out there that they want the Jaguars to draft like Jawan Taylor or something at the right tackle. See, I'm not with the whole tackle thing. If there were like a situation like Quentin Nelson where everyone's like, all right, this guy is a surefire non-miss, like he's the number one guy. I mean, this guy, no way he's got any bust material. He's by far the number one guy. Everyone says that. With this thing, I mean, you look at these different experts. Some guys have Jawan Taylor number 1. Some guys have Jonah Williams number 1. Some guys have like Cody Ford. There's just too much. There's too much out there when it comes to not being a consistent number 1. Where I wouldn't feel comfortable, taking a right tackle. Then all of a sudden they're just like average, and then you're left with this right tackle where you might not even pick up as like 5th-year option.
I get where you're going with that. You'd rather get a guy that you think could be an explosive player rather than. Now, when do you guys pick in the second round?
One more time.
What pick do you have in the second round?
I mean, we have 6th or 7th pick. I mean, wherever we're.
Okay, because I noticed the second round is the 49ers. No, not the 49ers. The 49ers don't pick in their draft slot in the second round that they do in the first. They pick like 5th in the second round, and so it was all shuffled up, I guess, because of trades. But yeah, I mean.
The way it works is like if you have like a tied record, then like right now the Giants and Jags, like they have the same record, but the Giants are in front of them. I think the Jags hop in front of them in like the second round. They kind of rotate it like that.
Well, the Giants have the 37th, which is I don't remember, but either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I think that there's enough depth. I kind of get. I had Jawan Taylor mocked to you guys because I think you could use a tackle, but with you talking to me, it does make sense to get a weapon at 7 and then take, because I think there'll be a tackle there at 38 if you're picking 38 that you can get, like a Kajus, for example. Like I think there'll be a tackle there for you guys in the second round.
Well, especially with the Jaguars right now, like we need to get fulsome weapons. Like can you name 3 wide receivers / tight ends on the Jaguars right now?
I mean, Marquise Lee. You guys don't have a lot of household names. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. See, we don't have much. And like Nick Foles, you know what he had over in Philadelphia? He had Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, like Nelson Aguilar. He had running backs up in the mix. Dallas Goedert. I mean, the guy had all kinds of like weapons, including a really good offensive line. So I mean, we gotta put some weapons around this guy. I mean, I know a lot of people are kind of throwing out DK Metcalf at number 7. I think he's just a huge risk, and especially with wide receivers, man. I feel like all these wide receivers go in the first round, and like they don't really pan out very well. And generally, like one thing I see is it's actually really hard to find a number 1 wide receiver. Like if you look around, like there are probably less true number 1 wide receivers than there are actually like franchise quarterbacks. I mean, it's a tough thing to get, and like a lot of these guys, they like a couple years ago, you saw John Ross, Mike Williams, Corey Davis go in the top 10. None of those guys worked out. Like last year, Calvin Ridley went in the first round, but I mean, he's a compliment to Julio Jones, and if you have a number 1 wide receiver like that can make the number 2 guy just be a lot better. And I don't know. It's
a good point. I think a lot of it also has to do with the environment that the receivers put in. I think that's all positions in football. Like you look at a Michael Thomas. Do you think he'd be just as good as he is on another team? I don't know if he would be. I think a lot of it has to do with where they get placed too. So, like, I can't think of guys off the top of my head, but I feel like a lot of guys get put into favorable spots. So, some of it.
Well, you mentioned Michael Thomas. Like just last year in the 3rd round, they drafted Traquan Smith out of UCF. He had a terrific year, but would Traquan Smith have had the same year on the Jaguars? Hell no. You know, he's got that. You got that offensive system around them where they just do a hell of a lot better.
Right, exactly. I think that has a lot to do, like the guys in the Vikings, for example. I don't know if they'd be as good as they were on another team. I don't, Thielen, do you think he'd be as good on the Giants? I would have doubts. But I mean, I think that has a lot to do. I'm of the belief that the wide receiver is one of the least important positions on a football team. So that's why I was okay with them trading Beckham. I don't like paying receivers that kind of money. But you guys certainly need weapons. I will say that. You guys are very stale when it comes to the weapons, and you have been for quite some time. So,
I mean,
you need to help Foles out. I agree with that.
I mean, with the way it looks right now, the only wide receiver I have a lot of confidence in is D.D. Westbrook. I mean, he's really good out in the slot, and I mean, he's elusive. I mean, he's a really good guy, but it's like, I don't think he's an actual number one wide receiver. And if you're to bring in one, I mean, in 2015, the Jaguars had Allen Robinson, who had 1,400 yards, and with him going out there and doing all that stuff, you had Allen Hurns get over 1,000 yards receiving. What did Allen Hurns do for the Dallas Cowboys this year? I don't think he had 300 yards receiving this year. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that's one thing. Like I was of your opinion too with wide receivers. Like, oh, wide receivers aren't really all that important. But then like my opinion has started to shift over the course of like the last year, just because I really think that, man, if you can have that number one wide receiver threat. Like it's tough because like a lot of times number one wide receivers come with the Odell Beckham Jr. and Antonio Brown type of attitude. But man, if you can get a focused guy like a Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, like Devontae Adams, like I just feel like having that danger on the field that they have to thrift the safeties over to, it's unreal.
It definitely has value. I just like if I was starting a team from scratch, obviously you want the quarterback. I think offensive line is more important. I think a pass rusher is more important. I think a lockdown corner is more important.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if you rank them, it's probably, you got to get your quarterback, you got to get, a really good left tackle and some other good offensive linemen. You got to get a good pass rusher, lockdown corner. And other than that, man, I mean, I think you got to pick and choose, see what the draft kind of gives you, and then kind of pay players from there.
Yeah, I just can't wait for the draft. And I think you guys and us are going to be looking for a similar player there in the second round, because I think the Giants wait until the second round to take a right tackle as well. And, yeah, I think both of us are going to be looking for right tackles there. And I think there's a good amount of them there. I think, like, Dalton Reisner could be there. I think there's a couple of guys that could be there. So Bradbury could slip. He's more of a guard, but he could slip. So there's going to be guys there in the second round.
Dude, I'll be honest with you about the Giants, man. I think they're bluffing on they don't want Haskins, man. I think that they don't want teams trading in front of them, and they just want to stick right there at number 6, just because. I mean, they have to have a plan at quarterback. They're not just gonna go in here and I mean, they know Eli Manning's on his like last legs, so like I really think that I think that they're bluffing. I'll be honest with you, man.
I think that they're going to take Haskins, if he's there. We don't know if he's going to be there, but if he's there, I think that they will go Haskins. I really do.
Because I don't think they want to trade up to get him, but, I do think that, I think that they, if he falls there, I mean, I feel like Haskins has been falling a little bit. I don't know if that's just because everyone's so, obsessed with Kyler Murray and how 5'10" he is. But I don't know, like everyone's just. I feel like everyone's kind of shifting toward Kyler Murray.
You're a Haskins guy, right? You're a Haskins guy, right?
Yeah, I like Haskins, but I don't think the Jags are drafting him. And I don't think he lasts till 7. But
you can't take him now after you sign Foles, in my opinion. You can't take him.
Well, and if I'm the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, I've been the GM since 2013. If I go 5-11 again, I'm fired. I'm over here. I'm trying to build my team and. Get some players that can help me day one, get some starters. I'm not, taking a guy like Haskins after I give Foles a $4 million deal, and
But by that same token, that you could argue that Gettleman might have the same exact philosophy. He might be like, listen, I don't want to get fired. If I go 5-11 again, I might get fired. Or Pat Shermer might be saying that, and he might say my best chance to win next year is to not take Haskins, and it's what I'm saying. So
was Gettleman, but Gettleman he wasn't the GM when they had slick back hair, dude, right?
No. He came in last year. Not when
generally the general managers they get 2 shots. They get 2 shots to the head coach. You know, this Dave Caldwell, Doug Marone's. That's his second head coach that he has. Usually, the GM gets an extra life.
Oh yeah,
and
no,
you know,
you're probably right. I'm just saying it might be in his head that they're trying to win now, and they kind of, you know, I think they'll go Haskins, but I wouldn't be shocked if they don't. But I think they'll go Haskins.
Yeah.
But
I think the goal is to not be the worst team in New York.
We'll see, man. It's gonna be Jets are gonna be improved this year. But I'm gonna let you go because in case I got somebody go. But I'll let you go. Go ahead.
I was about to say, man, with the Jets, I mean, I love the Le'Veon Bell signing, but man, I thought they needed to get the center. I thought losing Barr was so big for them because I think now they kind of have to. They're kind of pigeonholed into kind of having to get that
I was saying that.
linebacker speed rusher guy.
I had a Jet Cola call in about 20 minutes ago, and I was saying that. I said as good, you know, as many big name players as they brought in. Crowder was another guy I didn't even bring up. They brought in him. I forgot the slot receiver. But, I mean, they brought in some really nice players, but perhaps the most important position they missed on. Like, everybody thought for sure they were going to get Paradis, and then they let him go for nothing. I mean, $9 million a year, that was much cheaper than what we assumed the market was going to be for him. And it's almost like they just forgot about him.
Yeah, I like with Anthony Barr, man, like I thought getting him, that would have given them some flexibility.
Well, Barr too, yeah, Barr too would have been.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Anthony Barr. Like that would have given them some flexibility to say, hey, you know, we have this guy, so you know, if Josh Allen is gone or whatever, then we can, you know, get Jawan Taylor, get some kind of offensive lineman to bring some help into there. But now I think they're, you know, they basically got to get the best defensive end / outside linebacker available.
Yeah, they're going to get Josh Allen or Bosa, but I think it'll be Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, looking for them, it's a pretty deep class of defensive linemen, but. Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you letting me call in, man.
Yeah, man. I always love talking to you. I always like to give you a few extra minutes because you got a great channel over there. If anybody has not checked out UCF Jaguar, he's a great guy, great YouTuber. Please go check him out. And, thank you for the call, my man.
Yeah, and as I sign out, man, good luck with Eric Flowers out there in the NFC East.
All right, man. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
All right, it's Nations. I know I'm not supposed to call in the second time, but I had to ask you about this really dumb this really dumb new rule that may come to the NFL.
All right, go ahead.
So apparently the owners had a meeting with NFL, and basically the new rule that they wanted to add was that teams in a fourth quarter after a score would have the option to get the ball in their own 35. And if the ball goes at least 15 yards, the team that elected to and if the ball doesn't go 15 or more yards down the field, they don't keep the ball. But if it does go 15 yards down the field from that one play, they get to keep the ball. It's crazy. Stupid.
Wait. Explain that real quick one more time.
So basically, the owners had a meeting.
Right.
Apparently,
NFL, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and teams in the fourth quarter after a score would have the option to get the ball on their own 35. They would have one play, and if the ball doesn't go at least 15 yards down the field.
So copying the AAF. That's exactly what the AAF.
Yeah, that's exactly what John Mara said.
That will not happen. I don't think. Maybe.
I really hope it doesn't.
But I mean, because now they've made it so it's like impossible to recover onside kicks, so maybe that's why they're discussing that. But I mean, can you imagine how many other it's obviously especially if you have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you're at such an advantage over a team with a crappy quarterback, in that rule change. So it's kind of unfair to teams that don't have a good quarterback, like a team that builds their team.
I know.
So I don't
makes absolutely no sense.
I don't think that'll happen. But I mean, I guess it's interesting to talk about.
Yeah, it is. I really hope that's not a new rule because that would really suck.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. I mean, but you never know. But yeah.
All right, yeah.
Good talk, man.
All right.
All right, buddy. Keep up the good work on your channel. As we are, somebody else called in while he was on the phone. If you want to try to call back, please go ahead. And what's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
What's going on in Entertainah?
What's going on, Sperm Cell? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. So, did you hear the news that the Eagles are gonna look to re-sign Jay Ajayi?
I did. Somebody told me that. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, I did hear about that.
Honestly, I don't really think I like that move.
What's the do you know what the money involvement is? Like, how much are they paying him? Is it a 1-year deal?
No, I just know it's gonna be a 1-year deal.
Okay. I mean, I still think they could draft a running back. I still think they could take Jacobs in the first.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know if I really want Ajayi on our team though, because obviously, he's bone to bone one of his knees. He tore the ACL. A lot of injuries, and at this point, we need someone that can pound the ball, like a LeGarrette Blount, a C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, you guys used to have that nice dynamic, with Sproles and you had interchangeable parts in the backfield, and you guys really have gotten away from that. I'm looking up what they're saying. I just looked it up. They said, speaking Monday, player rep Drew Rosenhaus said free agent Jay Ajayi is still having discussions with the Eagles. He visited the Colts last week, so nothing seems concrete, but it's still up in the air, it seems like. But yeah, last year he was hurt all year. He only played 4 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like a minor move. I wouldn't think it would be a big deal, right? Minor move. They still could take a running back. What do you want the Eagles, who do you want the Eagles to take? Like, what position?
Josh Jacobs, first round.
You definitely want Jacobs, yeah.
Yeah, and then second round, I want to get like a wide receiver, like a speed one, like Paris Campbell or Deebo Samuel. I would like Hollywood Brown.
He won't be there in the second round.
I was thinking. I was about to say that.
But I love Paris Campbell. I don't know if he'll be there when you guys pick, but hopefully he's not there. Obviously, I'm a Giants fan, but I love Paris Campbell. I think he could be a big-time receiver in the NFL.
He ran, like a 4.32?
4.31. Yeah, he's unbelievable after the catch. One of the best in college football last year. The best jack on a per-reception basis in college football last year.
Yeah. Also should probably go after a O-lineman because we have 2 second-round picks.
What do you pick? What late, right? Both of them are pretty, mid to late second round?
I think the first one's around, 15. And the second one's, pretty late.
Okay. Yeah, you probably will go. Now, you guys could use a D tackle, too, right?
Yeah.
And you brought back, what's his name, the cornerback. What's his name?
Darby?
Yeah, Darby. So, you guys probably won't go corner. I initially had you guys going corner, but then when you brought back Darby, which I didn't expect, I don't think you go corner early in the draft. So I think you guys are either gonna go for skill position players, in my opinion. Wide receiver, running back, obviously not tight end with Ertz, but either a running back or a wide receiver. I think you guys will go certainly with one of your early picks.
Yeah, I wish we could get a corner because I hate Jalen Mills.
Yeah, you might take a corner. I just don't think it'll be in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right, buddy. Always appreciate when you call in, man. Thank you so much for the call.
All right.
All right, have a good one. Quarterback for Giants in 2020 when they're a better choice for, Charles says. Yeah, a lot of people have that mindset. I'm not against it. I'm not one of these people. I'm willing to take all sides into account. I'm not gonna be screaming at the Giants if they don't take one, knowing that there's a lot of quarterbacks in next year's draft. You better get one in next year's draft. That's my mindset. And that might mean you have to trade up a lot of draft picks, which I don't necessarily like to do. What's going on? You're on live. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up, Entertainah? It's me, J-Zach.
What's going on, J-Zach? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man?
Yeah, man.
Got home.
Yeah. What's up, man? Always love talking to you. Great Giants YouTuber, knows his stuff. Very knowledgeable. What's going on?
Thank you. Nothing, man. Just want to come talk. I'm seeing a lot of these mock drafts come out, and I'm trying not to get judgmental, Right. I'm trying not to be kind of a douche. But I'm seeing these mock drafts, and I'm just sitting here, and I got people having the Giants take Montez freaking Sweat at 6, and I'm like, you're insane. You're insane.
There's no way. I know everybody says that the heart's not a big deal, and regardless of that,
Regardless of that, I don't care. Like
I know Kid Blue. I know Kid Blue loves Kid.
I know.
He had Montez Sweat going 6 in his mock.
I know.
Yeah,
Bless his heart. I don't know what's wrong with him.
He loves Montez Sweat, but
every football fan has that one player who's not good that for some reason they always think they're good, and I think Kid Blues is Montez Sweat. We all have that one player we're a fan of who isn't as good as we think they are, and I think Montez is Kid Blues. That's why I always tell him.
Well, I'm not of the mindset that Montez Sweat is bad. I just don't think he's worth the sixth pick.
I definitely don't think he's bad. I don't even think he's worth like the 17th pick, man. If I'm being honest with you, like I would rather have Brian Burns. Like,
okay. I'm gonna present to you because I'm not gonna tell you what happened because I'm gonna show the video tomorrow. I'm having the Giants take Haskins. That's gonna be my next scenario.
Gross.
Well, you might not like it, but that's the scenario.
I saw the vote win. Yeah, I saw it.
All right, here's your top 16: Murray, Bosa, Allen, Quinnen Williams, Devin White. The Giants take Haskins, and then your next. Hold on one second. Let me move this. Your next, obviously Haskins at 6, then Jawan Taylor to the Jags, Hawkinson to the Lions, Jonah Williams to the Bills, Locke to the Broncos, Rashawn Gary to the Bengals, Metcalf to the Packers, Calais Farrell to the Dolphins, Brian Burns to the Falcons, Greedy Williams to the Redskins, Montez Sweat to the Panthers. Who do you take at 17? I know you're going to say corner.
This is easy.
I know you're going to say corner.
This is easy.
I know you're going to say...
You just left the best corner in the draft available. Are you kidding me? I'm salivating. I'm salivating right now.
I know you're going to say corner, but I don't take corner, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I think that the pass rusher is such a glaring need that I think if they take Haskins, they're forcing themselves to take a pass rusher at 17.
Yeah. I guess we have like Cleveland Farrell or something like that.
Well, Farrell went. I'm not going to tell you. You could guess. He's not an edge rusher. He's an interior lineman.
Oh, you got Ja'Kai Polite, I bet, don't you?
No, better than that.
Okay.
Better than that.
Interior rush, Christian Wilkins? Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call Ed Oliver an interior rusher.
Well, you can go. He's interchangeable. He could go DT and D end.
It has nothing to do with his position. It has to do with his skill set. Like, Ed Oliver is probably the best run defender in the draft, but he's really lacked in pass rush ability in Cass College. I think he's got more talent than any other defensive player in this year's draft, but he hasn't really lived up to the expectations as a pass rusher in the tape I've seen. But then again, Pro Football Focus did like a whole video about him where they scouted him out, and they found out that he was like double and triple teamed, that whenever you counted all his plays where he wasn't double teamed, he was actually a really good pass rusher, which is cool.
Yeah, I just think if they take a quarterback, and I would love to go corner there, I don't think they can wait till 37 to take.
I'm also in that minority that believes that a secondary is actually more important than a pass rush. Like, I'm actually in that small minority that actually believes that like the second most important position is cornerback and then pass rusher. So that's also why I tend to value DeAndre Baker over, like a Ja'Kai Polite or something like that. But I'm in that small minority. A lot of people don't agree with that. I tend to typically do, and it's not really a proof, but one of my small reasons as to why I believe that is just because like when you look at the Giants 2 years ago when we went 11-5, everybody's talking about like, oh, we got to the quarterback. It's like, not really. We didn't get to the quarterback as much as you think we did. Our secondary was just a lot better. Like, that was the year Andrew Adams stepped in and played pretty well. Landon Collins had his best year. Janoris Jenkins had his best year.
I got to be honest with you. And I do think that if you could find a lockdown corner, and those are hard to find. Those are very hard to find. I mean, you count on one hand how many true lockdown corners there are in the league. If you could find a lockdown corner, they're very valuable. But, I mean, I think you should know better than as a Giants fan. I mean, the pass rush is so important. I mean,
I don't think it's not important. I think, here's the thing. When I say that I think a secondary is more important, it's by like a hair. To where, like, if we did take it like a pass rusher over a corner and it was a good pass rusher, I wouldn't be upset. I think they're almost equal. But I would just, in my personal opinion, because I think a lockdown corner is more rare to find than a solid pass rusher, I'd take my lockdown corner just because I think they're rarer. I think good pass rushers are not too hard to come by. I think elite pass rushers are definitely hard to come by, but I think an elite corner is a lot harder to come by than an elite pass rusher, in my personal opinion.
That's fair to say. I mean, if you look at this draft, you could argue there's 4 or 5 elite pass rushers, and only, I'll tell you right now,
there's only 2.
There's probably only 1. I mean, there might be 0. I mean, none of these guys might pan out to be lockdown corners.
course.
As much as you might like Byron
Like I
Murphy.
would everybody was like hating on the Browns when they took Denzel Ward last year instead of Bradley Chubb. I thought it was the right move, and he turned out to be phenomenal. But I mean, him being good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hated on him then. I still hate it. And Denzel Ward was really good, but I think Bradley Chubb is going to be an animal.
Oh, I think Bradley Chubb's pretty good. The thing about, I think they're both just such good players. I honestly, like I said, I don't think they could have gone wrong with either one. I think because they already had Myles Garrett. Their defensive line is still great. They had a ton of young talent. Larry Ogunjobi on the defensive line over there for the Browns, another young, really good player. They already had a decent defensive line. They really needed corner, and Denzel Ward wasn't just the best corner in the draft. He was a great corner. It's not like to where now this year it's like, what's a position that's kind of weak in this year's draft? There's not really any positions that are really weak in this year's draft besides quarterback, is there?
Well, I don't think quarterback's as weak as people are making it out to be. I just don't think it's an elite class like last year. I still think there's good quarterbacks in this year's class. I know you don't like Haskins. But
that's just because I'm just a hard-headed idiot. That's why.
No. Some people don't like it.
Like I thought last year's quarterback class was mediocre. I thought Baker and Mayfield was the only quarterback last year's draft that I was like, yeah, this guy's awesome. Everybody else, I was like, meh.
I mean, I'm looking at the draft now. I think there's a lot. I don't think there's an elite offensive lineman in this year's draft, but there's a lot of very good ones. I think Hawkinson and Fent could both be elite tight ends.
I think he could. I think Hawkinson has a lot of talent. Yeah. He could be like Gronkowski 2.0 if coached correctly.
There's a ton of good pass rushers. There's 2 or 3 elite potential corners. Great middle linebacker at the top of the draft.
Great middle linebacker. Devin White.
And Bush.
Bush is so good too.
Yeah, Bush could be too.
Zach Wilson.
You know what? If there's a weak position, I would say safety.
I completely agree with that. I think Taylor Rapp, Nasir Adderley are the 2 safeties that I'm like, yeah, these guys are awesome. And then there's like Juwan Thornhill I kind of like, and I like Deontay Thompson a little bit. Not Deontay Thompson, I'm sorry. What's his name? Everybody else thinks he's like the best safety in the draft.
Deontay Thompson.
Yeah, it is Deontay Thompson. Okay.
Yeah.
Him, I think he's okay. I'm not as high on him as everybody else is. I really like Nasir Adderley and Taylor Rapp. I think those guys are solid safeties. But
they're solid.
I want to get back on Montez Sweat real quick. Like here's one of my reasons as to why I think everybody's ridiculous about Montez Sweat. Like, let me ask you this real quick. Before the combine, I'm
just gonna answer Dwayne real quick.
Okay,
when I say that there's more, there may be more corners spread it out through the draft, but I mean in the first round. I think it's a weak safety class. But go ahead.
Yeah. So before the combine, I didn't hear a single person talking about Montez Sweat being a phenomenal pass rusher and top 10 talent. And then next thing you know, the guy runs a 4.4 something, and everybody's like, have you seen this guy? He's insane. Have you seen his tape? Like his tape didn't get better because he ran a 4.4.
Well, to be fair, he did go up. But to be fair, he was still being mocked as a mid-first round pick.
A mid-first round pick, and I'm okay with him being a mid-first round pick, but all this top 15, top 10, I just think it's ridiculous, man. I think it's so ridiculous. Like I said, I've said this, I'm on the record for saying this multiple times, and I stand by this, and I always will. I could care less. I couldn't care less. I'm sorry. I couldn't care less about the combine or the pro day. I don't care how good you come out and you throw out your combine. I don't care how good you come out and throw out your pro day. If your tape doesn't show me what I want to see, then that's all I'm judging you off of. Because if you can't go out there and make a throw when there's no pass rush, when you're throwing at your receivers, then how are you supposed to make a throw in-game? But like I said, either way, even if you have phenomenal tape and you had a horrible combine, I don't care. Like Ja'Kai Polite had a horrible combine. I mean, It was atrocious.
Right.
Absolutely atrocious.
Which could work out in the Giants' favor.
Exactly. You know what's pretty good about what's pretty good about Ja'Kai Polite? His tape. His tape's pretty good. But his combine was atrocious. Atrocious. I don't care. I care about what he did on the field. When the pads were on and it was game time, Ja'Kai Polite played like a top 5 edge rusher in this year's draft. I would take Ja'Kai Polite over Montez Sweat. Now, most people based on
what you're saying, I would guess that you are not a fan of Rashawn Gary.
My God, he's turned me into a horse out of nowhere with that one. Hold on. My God, the thing about Rashawn Gary is bad dog. It's Kyler Murray, easy. But the thing about Rashawn Gary is he needs to utilize his physical gifts, which is his body, his physical. He needs to utilize them so much more than he does. I mean, this is a guy who coming out of high school was ranked as the #1 high school prospect, like above everybody.
By
He was
all four. It wasn't just
everybody.
one. By all four. It's only the third player in the history of football to be ranked number one by all four.
Exactly. And now he's struggling to be called a top 3 edge rushing position. Like, he needs, like, the fact that he didn't develop more in college scares me a little bit, right? Like, I think his talent is still there, of course, but I think his tape, it needs to improve. I think his technique needs, here's the thing, right? This is the difference between somebody like Rashawn Gary and Nick Bosa. The only difference between somebody like Rashawn Gary and Nick Bosa is technique.
That's where Nick Bosa excels.
Exactly. Nobody can tell me that Nick Bosa is a better athlete than Rashawn Gary, right? This is why I get so frustrated when I hear people say, like, oh, look how good his talent is. Like, look at his physicality. He's got all the physical traits that you want. It's like, yeah, that's awesome and all, but how does he utilize that on the field? Nick Bosa is not the biggest athlete in the world, but he utilizes everything on the field. I mean, watching that dude's tape is like watching an NFL player out there just playing around with kids.
Right.
He's phenomenal. You know, this is why I'm not big on Montez Sweat. It's why I'm not so huge on Drew Lock like other people are, because, and I said this before on your last call about how Devin White is one of the few players I would actually make this exception for, is I'm not a big fan of drafting somebody off of what they could be. I want to draft somebody off of what they are, because if you can improve on what you are now, then we're good. But if you're not too good now, but you could be awesome, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get you to that point. Right, so Devin Bush is one of the few
probably, based on what you're saying, you'd probably prefer a Calais Farrell to a Gary.
I would 100% take that. I actually think Cleveland Farrell is being tremendously and disgustingly slept on. Like, if you go watch this guy's tape, he has the best burst off the line than I've seen in anybody in this class. I mean, it's phenomenal. There's tape in Clemson of Cleveland Farrell. Dude, the center will hike the ball, and before the guards and the tackles react, he's already like hip to hip with them after the ball was hiked. I mean, the guy has a phenomenal burst off the defensive line, and he's got great technique. But he's not the most athletic dude in the world, but he's succeeded. A lot of people think Christian Wilkins is like the best player on that defensive line. I happen to think it's Cleveland Farrell, although I do think Christian Wilkins is right there next to him.
Yeah,
I think
Wilkins is really good too. I think I have him going to the Colts, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Bad Dog just said Farrell at 17 to the Giants. I would actually take that. But
I'd set up that at 17. I'd set up that at 17.
And I'm assuming we'd only take him if we didn't take if we took a quarterback at 6. Like if we took a pass rusher at 6, then I want a cornerback at 17. But if we have to take Dwayne Haskins, then I would take Farrell at 17 if he was there. Like, I think Farrell is a great player. Like I said, he's one of those people that you draft off of what they are, not off of what they could be, because Cleveland Farrell is great. Right, Rashawn Gary, Montez Sweat could be great. There's a huge difference there, and I'm not a big fan.
I think Rashawn Gary he's a lottery ticket, but he could be the best player in this whole draft.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with you. I think
that's how high his potential is.
Yeah, I think there's like 2 to 3 players in this year's draft who right now are barely top 5 in their position, but could be, if they could reach their full potential. That's a big if. Could be the best player in the draft. That's like Josh Allen. It's Devin White. And it's Rashawn Gary, and I think it's
Oliver?
Ed Oliver's one of them as well. Ed Oliver's another one of them. I think he has potential to be the best player in this draft. Like, there's a few players in this year's draft whose ceiling is just so ridiculously high, but where they are right now does not warrant to be drafted high off of that ceiling. Does that make sense? Like, I've told this multiple times to everybody. Like, I had this one guy literally screaming at me, because he was telling me that you always draft a player based off of his talent, and I told him that's absolutely horrendously not true.
No, I agree with that. You have to balance it. You have to balance it.
Exactly. If we were drafting a player off of their talent, then last year we would have drafted Josh Allen or what's his name? Freaking the guy who can't throw.
No, it's not like Saquon Barkley didn't have talent. Saquon Barkley.
No, it's not about that. It's the fact that quarterback is more important than running back, and Josh Allen was the most talented quarterback in last year's draft. If you're going to take a quarterback this year off of pure talent, off of their ceiling, Drew Lock is the guy sticking through.
Well,
like,
just based off of arm strength, sure. Yeah, just based
but not just his arm strength. If you watch Drew Lock, he's not that either. Like, if you go watch this guy's tape, for some reason, this is one thing about Drew Lock. His tape is so inconsistent. Like, he'll make the most stupid throws I'll see, and I'll be like, dude, are you Nathan Peterman 2.0? Like, what's wrong with you? Right. He'll make some horrible throws, but then other times he will make throws that I only see people like Rodgers make and Mahomes. Like, he makes some ridiculous.
No, I've seen the tape. He's got a, he makes He does make some crazy throws.
He makes those insane.
But I definitely don't prefer him because I
don't.
Yeah,
I want him.
I like more of an accurate quarterback that in the mold of a Haskins or a Murray as opposed to.
I mean, I did just upload a video that sounds contradictory to what I'm saying now, and I'll kind of explain that in case anybody wants to call me out in the comment section or something. But the thing about I'm like I said, I'm on record right now saying that I don't want a quarterback in this year's draft. Like I actually don't. I really don't. I want to wait, but if Kyler Murray's there, I'm going to take him because he's that good. But if we have to take a quarterback and Kyler Murray's not there, if we absolutely have to, like if you're going to make me pick one, gun to my head, I'm actually taking Locke over Haskins if, and this is a big if we allow the quarterback to sit for the entire year and completely work on their arm with Pat Shurmur, because I think Pat Shurmur is a phenomenal quarterback coach. And that's only because Drew Lock has way more potential than Dwayne Haskins, and if Drew Lock could clean up his accuracy, he would be the second best quarterback in this year's draft, in my opinion, if he had a little bit more accuracy. So if 100% we were going to let a quarterback sit and he would not touch the field until next year, I would actually take Lock over Haskins. And I know that sounds like blasphemy, but it's because
I don't think it sounds like blasphemy. There's some people most people don't share your opinion, but some people do.
Yeah.
There are Drew
and like
Lock.
I said, and I'll say this, and people are like, "Oh my God, you think Locke is better than Haskins?" Like, no, I don't. Like, I really don't. I don't think that at all. I think Will Grier is better than Drew Lock. I just think that Drew Lock could be phenomenal, which is why.
But I'm not. In my opinion, I'm not taking a guy based on could be at 6. I'll take a guy based on could be at 17.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about 6. I was talking about 17.
Oh,
For Drew Lock, 17. Like in the video, I say if I had to draft a quarterback, I would rather take Lock at 17 than Haskins at 6.
Okay, that's a fair point to make. That's fair. I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, no,
that's fair. That's fair. That's definitely fair.
If I'm in the top 10, you better be guaranteed money.
yeah. No, that's fair to say. That's definitely fair to say.
I should have clarified that.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
And this was all of 17.
Yeah, that's fair to say. I would still go Haskins at 6 as opposed to, because I'm not a Lock guy, but I could see someone having that thought process.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, man. I'm just so confused with this draft because I just seriously don't want Haskins. I don't think he's going to pan out the way people think he is. I think there's way too many Giants fans thinking, like, overrating him because he wants to be a Giants fan because he was born and raised here, that for some reason his tape improves because he wants to be a Giant. I just don't understand this. Like, I feel like there's so many Giants fans who are overrating him simply due to the fact that he wants to be a Giants fan. He had that one tweet, he grew up in New York. It's like I don't think that really means anything.
I think it might have some validity to that, but I disagree. I think he is a good player. I do.
You'll never catch me here. You'll never catch me. You'll never hear me say Dwayne Haskins isn't a good player. I don't think he's a bad player. I've never said that. I don't think he's a bad player. I think that if it wasn't for Kyler Murray, he would actually be the best quarterback in this year's draft. And I've said this before, that if I had to rank the quarterback class, the quarterbacks, I would actually, like, if he was in last year's draft, I would still think he could have been drafted in the first round, but I would have taken Darnold and Rosen both over him. So I would have taken him over like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. So if he was in last year's draft, I think he should have been on the Bills. Or something like that. Like, he should have gone.
So you think he warrants a top 10 pick? You just don't want him to be a Giant. That's basically what you're saying.
No, I don't think he's worth the top 10 pick. Off of skill alone, no, he's not worth the top 10 pick.
A team that needs but we all know that quarterbacks never, like Kyler Murray, in my opinion, it should not be a number 1 overall pick. But
absolutely not.
But the Cardinals feel like they need a quarterback, so they're taking him.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't clarify things like this enough. Whenever I typically say this person isn't a top 5 talent, they're not a top 10 talent, I'm completely eliminating positional importance. So eliminating positional importance, I think Dwayne Haskins this year is a second-round pick. Last year, I think he would have been like a top 20 pick, right? So, but because of positional importance, I think he's like a top 15 pick. Still not a top 10 because even factoring in positional importance, I still don't think he's that good. Like, he's not the guy. He doesn't have that factor. He doesn't make the throw. Like, he doesn't make those throws. He's too inconsistent under pressure, in my opinion. Like, if you're going to be a quarterback in the top 10, you have to be good under pressure. And Haskins just isn't from the tape I've seen. He's just not. And I think and improving a quarterback in pressure is one of the hardest things to improve them on, because you can practice and practice and practice as much as you want with those pads being thrown in your face and you maneuvering those pads. but nothing can simulate the actual feeling of being in a game and having somebody on the opposite team sprint at you at full speed and have to react to that, right? Like, I think
No. I'm going to play devil's advocate, though.
Go ahead,
I could say the same exact thing about Kyler Murray because he wasn't touched with that offensive line that he had and the system he plays in.
So what I would tell you after that is that if you go watch the plays where the offensive line didn't hold up, he still was able to majority of the time, like a solid percentage of the time, still make something happen. Whether it was with his legs,
well, he has more mobility. I would never debate that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would never debate
here's
that.
The thing, though, like whether his, but even not, I've seen Kyler Murray stand in the pocket and make a cleaner throw with a hand in his face than I have Haskins. Than I've seen Haskins do.
At the end of the day, it's a matter of preference. People who prefer Haskins are going to say those people are overrating Kyler Murray. People who like Kyler Murray are going to say those people are overrating Dwayne Haskins.
And I'm not dumb. Like I do think there are some people who are overrating Kyler Murray as well. You know, I think there are some people who are acting like he's, the best player in the draft, and it's like, no, he's not. He's just not. He's the best quarterback in the draft in my opinion. He's not the best player. He's probably not even a top 5 pick. If you like take away positional importance, I think he's like a top 10 pick, maybe like bottom 10 if you take away the importance of it all. But so I think there's a lot of people definitely overrating him.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to PlayDead for the super chat. Yeah, I'll go. I can't do it while I'm live because I don't have the chat in front of me. I have the OBS, but I'll go back in and give you one PlayDead. Thank you very much for that. Go ahead.
Right. So I'm seeing a lot of mock drafts of people having the Giants take like Jawan Taylor or like Andre Dillard at 6, and it's getting disgusting, man. Like, why are people just out of nowhere assuming Jonah Williams just isn't that good anymore? Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I think he's easily the best tackle in the draft, and I just keep seeing him fall. Like, every mock draft I see, he's falling further and further, and I just don't get it, man. Like, I just don't. Like, it actually baffles me how people's mock drafts change so much, like, throughout the season when the tape never changed. Right, like I get it. I
think there's really good tackles, but not at 6 because I think that position specifically is so deep in this year's draft. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like 17, you can make the argument. Like if Jonah Williams falls to 17 and you go deep. Now it only works for me if you don't go quarterback with the first pick. If you go quarterback with the first pick, you pencil yourself into having to take a pass rusher. In my humble opinion, at 17. But if you take Devin White or say Quinnen Williams, whatever, if you get a defensive player at 6, then you have the freedom to do what you want. You could take
whatever you want.
Yeah, you could take Jonah. You could take the corner. You could take another pass rusher if there's a guy that shouldn't be. Say Brian Burns is there and you really like him. So it gives you a lot of freedom. If you take Devin White and Brian Burns is there, you can be like, I really like Brian Burns. I'm going to take Brian Burns. I really like Calais Farrell. I'm going to take. But if you take quarterback, you have to take a pass rusher.
You basically told everybody what you're doing. You showed them your hand. But I'll tell you one thing is, and this is going to sound kind of ridiculous to say, there's only 5 players that I'm actually willing to take with a 6th overall pick. And the really thing that sucks is that those 5 players, I'm pretty sure, like in every mock draft, are gone. Like, and this is going to sound insane, but from 6 to 10, I'm not actually sure there's any players I would take besides Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Devin White, Nick Bosa, and Quinnen Williams. Like, those are the 5 players I am penciled in on any of them if they're available at 6. And all 5 of those players are always gone. And like, unless somebody else trades up for a quarterback, like literally, unless somebody trades ahead of the Giants to get Dwayne Haskins, all 5 of those players are always gone, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, well, the only way, if there's not a trade up, and we're just going off the assumption that Kyler Murray goes 1, the only way that, in my opinion, that Devin White gets to the Giants is if that happens, or that somebody reaches on a DK Metcalf, or they reach on a Greedy Williams. Maybe the Bucs take a corner, but other than that, they're not getting there. Unless somebody trades ahead for Haskins.
Because everybody has the Cards taking Kyler. Then there's Niners taking Bosa. The Jets take Josh Allen. The Niners take Quinnen Williams.
You mean the Raiders?
And then
the Raiders.
Yes, I'm sorry. The Raiders take Quinnen Williams. And then the Bucs keep taking Devin White because they just let go of Quan Alexander. Although I still think they need to go corner. Like, if I'm the Buccaneers, I'm taking DeAndre Baker. but everybody hasn't taken Devin White. So it's like, dang, those are the only 5 players in this year's draft that I would take at 6. Everything else, I would trade down for. Like, I'm being honest with you. I would trade down 4 or 5 spots with the Dolphins or something who wants Dwayne Haskins, like, or somebody. It doesn't matter. I would trade down with almost anybody at that point for the right deal, of course, because there's just nobody I really care for besides those 5 in this year's draft in the top 10. I'm just being honest, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
Like, if I take Cleveland Furrow at 6, I'm going to be like, ugh, well, I like the guy. I don't like where I drafted him.
Yeah,
if I take DeAndre Baker at 6,
it's a reach.
Yeah, if I take DeAndre Baker and be like, well, once again, I like him. Don't like where I drafted him. Ed Oliver. Like, there's nobody else you can name to me that I would be like,
but basically,
yeah.
you're saying that the Bucs should do what you wouldn't do. for that,
Exactly.
For that
I want them to be
place.
stupid. I
Yeah,
need them to be stupid. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, one of these teams needs to be dumb, or somebody needs to trade up for Haskins in order for me to get somebody that I actually feel like is worth a 6th overall pick.
Right. In that scenario, I'm completely fine with Haskins because I like Haskins. But if you're not taking Haskins, I completely agree with you that there's not a player there that I'd want them to take if they don't trade. You know, I prefer a trade down to taking someone else in that scenario.
That's why I kind of liked your mock draft where you had us trade down from 6, because I didn't feel like there was anybody there. Like, if you would have had us take somebody right there at 6 in that little draft you did earlier today, I would have been like, nah, I wouldn't do that. But I was completely fine with us taking Gary when we traded down, you know, in your scenario. Right? Like, I was like, okay, I'm not huge on Gary. As long as it wasn't at 6, I like it. And I actually really liked your scenario there. I was like, I'm completely cool with that. I'm fine with Gary. I think he's got a ton of talent. I think he is a good player. He would be an immediate upgrade. And with the correct coaching, he could be the best player in the draft, which I'm fine with. But I was not okay with it at 6. So when I saw your video, I was like, you know what? That's awesome. I love that. There was nobody there. Don't reach for the guy. Trade down. Get more picks. Do what you can do. And I actually really liked your video on that.
I appreciate it, man. You're not gonna like my next one.
I have to drop just like.
Well, you already know. You already know the scenario. I am forced.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to meditate before I watch it. You know, something like that.
I am forced to take Dwayne Haskins, so you have to know that going in. But
I won't judge that pick. I'll judge the 17th overall pick.
Yeah, exactly. But I just want to say it's been almost a half hour. Great call. If anybody has not gone over there and checked out his channel, I gave him some extra time because it seemed like the calls were dying down, and he's a great caller. So J-Zack has a new channel. He's been on YouTube for a while, but he's starting his own independent channel now. So you will want to check it out. So go check it out, and I'm sure I'll have him on the channel at some point. So thank you so much for the call, buddy.
Yeah, I'll see you later, man. Thanks for letting me hang out. You have a great stream, all right?
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right. Night.
Have a good one. Great call. Love that guy. If there was a lot of callers, I wouldn't let him stay on that long, but seems like there hasn't been that many callers, and people weren't asking to call in, so I'm going to close this out soon unless people start calling in. But show us your bed. No showing the bed. Someone will trade up to 3 with the Jets for Haskins, so Giants can likely end up with Devin White. Yeah, we'll see. There's a lot that could go on in this draft. I mean, it's Cola's back. Somebody could jump him. The Giants could take. I still think Giants take Haskins. I really do. If they don't get jumped. It's Cola. I'm gonna wait 7 more minutes. I will wait till 10 o'clock. If nobody calls in, I'm gonna call tonight. So if you want to call in, you have 7 minutes. No. Does not. What are your thoughts on Hakeem Butler? I like him. I don't want the Giants to take a wide receiver, though. I think they have way too many more pressing needs than a wide receiver. Draft, I think, is at 8, but I could be wrong. I know it's at night, Splash. I like Hakeem Butler. I like N'Keal Harry, too. They're very similar receivers. I did hear Mara today, Dwayne Basco. I don't know if it's real or not. It could be a smokescreen. We don't know anything with this regime. But yeah, he basically said that they're going to take. He didn't. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he more or less said that they're going to be taking a quarterback. He didn't say when, so it could be Daniel Jones at 17. Everybody that wants Haskins or Murray is going to be like, oh, they're taking a quarterback at 6. He didn't say that. So, but yeah, he made it sound like they were taking a quarterback that they thought was going to be the guy going forward. If I don't see you by Thursday, go. Yes, Jose Reyes. Go Mets is right. Entertainah, what don't you like about Tyrod? Is it because he doesn't fit the scheme? Tyrod Taylor, to me, he's not an answer. He's a stopgap. So we already have a stopgap. Let Eli play out his last year, and then you get the quarterback of the future. That's the only reason why Tyrod, to me, doesn't make much sense. Why is JC... because he was born that way. Yeah, I don't want Jones, Dwayne. I'm just saying the fact that he said that doesn't mean that we're definitely taking...
Chris.
Bobby, second-time caller. What's up, Bobby?
Yeah, I wanted to respond to Mr. OC, huh? He's such a funny man.
What's up,
I
Bobby?
think his humor is like dry as bread, dry as old bread.
What, his voice?
He's not that funny, really. He's not that funny.
I think you're both funny.
He may look
I think you're both
He might
funny.
look funny looking, maybe. But he's not that funny as a human. You know, you think he has humor. He doesn't.
You don't like his humor?
No, I don't like his humor.
You're not a fan of his humor. I get it.
I'm gonna do more videos too. You know,
Are you gonna make a video in response to him?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we could do a video on him. Yeah, and then he could call in my show.
I like that. That would be a great fun. Then I wouldn't have to play the middleman. You guys could just go at it.
Yeah, but you're good as the middleman. You're entertaining.
I know.
You're the entertainer.
I know. Dwayne
what
says
makes it so
I might
good.
be the only one who thinks that the Cards are going to pass. No, I'm going to simulate that too, Dwayne. I'm definitely going to make a simulation for that too. I want to make like 20, maybe not 20, but a lot. And one of them will definitely be the Cards passing on him. But yeah, no.
I'm surprised.
But go ahead.
I'm surprised it's been a slow show for you.
Yeah, I mean,
I was sitting in the weeds.
Well, a lot of people.
I was sitting in the.
There's been a decent amount of people in the chat. It's just not as many calls. But,
yeah.
I mean, part of it has to do with the sport. I might switch days because I know the Sports Fury goes every Monday. It's just that Monday works for me. I might switch to Sundays, though. I don't know. Like, I wanted Sundays to be my Met show, but I may switch it. I may have the Mets on Monday.
You should do trivia, too, on your show, too.
There's only so much I could do, Bobby. Like, I make a
I
lot
mean, on this show, you could do trivia, too.
I mean,
trivia.
I like the call-in show. I like talking to people and talking sports. But,
you know who else does good on trivia is that, Sir Cardinal.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He has, like, an announcer voice, doesn't he?
What?
He has the smooth talking Sir Cardinal.
Yes, he is.
No, announcer voice.
Yes,
yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
But anything else?
Yeah, my cat got excited when she saw you again. She got all excited.
Yeah, the cat loves me. I know.
Yeah. I give you a picture of her. You got Facebook or you got Twitter?
I got Twitter.
You're on the Twitter, right?
I'm on the Twitter. You can
And
follow
are
me.
you on Facebook?
No, but you can follow me on the Twitter.
Okay, and I'll give you a picture to show you her, okay?
Sounds good, Bobby. Sounds good.
She's a good cat. She's a great cat. You'll like her.
I'm sure I will.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to respond to the OC. His humor is not very funny, I don't think.
I think we got to fight.
He thinks he's funny.
Yeah, I think.
Well, remember I said he reminds me of the guy on the TV show, too. He does exactly like him.
Right.
Look up Rhoda and listen to the guy. He's the doorman. Listen to his voice and listen to QC's voice.
I'll have to check it out.
Maybe he call again before you leave, and then.
Well, I don't know if he's gonna call again because I'm.
Well, he's in the weeds, isn't he? In the weeds in the talk.
Well, not always. He might not be watching right now, but I'm gonna wrap this up very soon.
Oh.
Because I've been on for 3 hours.
Yeah, well, you had a long week.
I always have long weeks. I'm always cranking videos up.
You did great. I know you did awesome as usual. Okay, so we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Bobby. All right, have a good one.
You have a great night. Bye now.
All right. Yes, he does, Real Giants Mafia. Yes, he does. I'll give it another 5 minutes if somebody wants to call and give you guys a chance. Bobby is a little boy in a man's body, the goat says. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I've been on for 3 hours, Eric. I've been on for 3 hours. White at 6, Burns at 17, and Cody Ford in the second. Cody Ford ain't getting to the second. No way. I mean, that would be great, but no way. You're new here, Sexy Goat. Yeah. Or the Goat now. No, you're not. I really appreciate that, Dwayne. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that. Look, I'm gonna have a lot of more mock drafts up. So and keep in mind when I put the mock drafts up, it's not gonna be necessarily what I feel. It's just gonna be situations I'm putting myself in and how I would draft in that situation. So the next one I'm having Haskins to the Giants, but then I'm probably gonna have one where we trade for Rosen. I'm probably gonna have one where we get jumped. And Haskins is off the board. Have another one where Murray doesn't go first, like you said. Have one where we trade back up into the first with our second-round pick and, other picks, obviously. So I'm going to put a lot of situations out there. I'm really looking forward to it. Who do I got winning it all? I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know what we're talking about. I appreciate that, Real New York Giants Mafia. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Fishing for Mike. Who do you want to take at 6 and 17? I mean, it all depends on who's there. It's not like we have the first pick. If Haskins is there and an elite defensive player is not, I would take Haskins. Now, if I got blown away with an offer to trade down, I'd be open to it. But if I didn't, I would take Haskins. I would not trade up under any circumstance for any player. And if I'm not going Haskins, Devin White or Quinnen Williams, if they fell to me at 6, would be ideal. I wouldn't want anyone else but those 3. I would prefer to trade down if Quinnen Williams, Devin White, and Haskins were all gone. Yeah, that's my mindset on it. March Madness Duke. I'm sticking with Duke. Most confident pick in the NFL draft, Chris. Mine is Kyler Murray to Arizona. Mine's actually, I guess that makes sense. Because, I feel like Bosa is a lock to the Niners. But that's based off the fact that Murray's going first. If Murray doesn't go first, then that changes everything. So I guess if you feel there's more than a 50% chance that Murray's going first, that would be my answer. That I guess you're right. That's a Chuck Sharts. If Murray and White both at 6, who do you take? It won't happen, Kyle. It's not going to happen. They're both not going to be there. But I don't know. I'd probably go Murray. But I don't know for a fact. It's not going to happen, though. It will not happen. If we take White at 6 and Bush... No. Can't do it. 2 middle linebackers? No. In the first 2 pick... No, they won't do that. Colby, yeah, I'll give you another minute, because otherwise I'm going to call it a night. Would Jets pass on quarterback if would pass on Quinnen Williams if Bosa and Allen go 1-2? That's the question. I think the Jets would look to trade down at that point, but if they didn't find a reasonable price, I think they would take Quinnen Williams. Are you worried about the Giants getting Daniel Jones? Yes. That would be my worst nightmare. I want nothing to do with him at 17. I don't mind Daniel Jones in the second round. I don't want him at 17. I want nothing to do with him. I'm going to give Colby 1 more minute. Otherwise, we're just going to say our goodnights. And I'll answer any more questions you guys may have. But I like Bush, Eddie. I do like Bush. Bush is a possibility at 17 if they go pass rusher at 6. I like them. I think they have more pressing needs, though. You changed your mind. Okay. You wouldn't like 2 beast linebackers in the 3-4 I'm not saying I wouldn't like that. I just think they have other needs where I wouldn't take 2 middle linebackers with the first 2 picks. I think they definitely need some help in the secondary. Pass rusher. So I just think there's other needs where my first 2 picks would not be middle linebackers. Yeah, Dwayne, I'm not taking him. If I'm the GM, I would not take him. But I'm not going to cry about it if they take him at 37. I've never seen someone with perfect mechanics but no accuracy. He does have picture-perfect mechanics. He really does. Because he's coached by the same guy who coached Eli and Peyton. So, who do you think trades up in the draft? I think... I'm going to go Bengals. If somebody's going to trade up early in the draft, I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to go Bengals. If somebody is going to trade up into the early part of the draft. But, guys, I am going to call it a night. I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in. You guys were great. You made it fun. Thank you guys for being a part of the stream. And I'll see you guys soon. I'm going to have that next mock video up tomorrow, probably in the morning. And then I'll be working on the next one. And then I want to also work on that Rashawn Gary profile video as well as the Greedy Williams. Obviously, any news that comes out, I'll make a video on it. So I'll definitely see you guys soon. All right, guys. Have a good night. Later, babe.